Welcome to the Bayou City, Houston, Texas, for tonight's NCAA Baseball Super Regional Opener. The Rice Owls earned the right to host tonight's tournament by crushing Wichita State last weekend. Chris Kolkhorst, the tournament MOP. The Houston Cougars surprised the Texas A&M Aggies last weekend, coming from behind to score the winning run in the bottom of the 10th. The Cougars and Owls battle for Omaha next. The road to Omaha goes through the Brick House tonight. Reckling Park on the campus of Rice University here in Houston, Texas. Game one of a best-of-3 series. It's the Rice Owls playing host to the Houston Cougars. By Monday night, the 8-team field for the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska will be set. We already know there will be one school from Houston going. Now, will it be the University of Houston or will it be Rice? I'm Bill Jones, joined by one of the familiar names in all of college baseball history. Yes, Pete Incaviglia, back in 1985, hit 48 home runs, a record number for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. He is college baseball's player of the century, and we are honored to have Inky with us tonight to call the action for this series. It's like a return to your own home roots there, Inky.
Yes, it is. This is great to be back, and these two teams are going to battle out. There's a lot of tension. I'm looking forward to it.
Of course, Pete was a great home run hitter. One of the offensive stars for Houston is the third baseman, Hung Cho, and the Cougars really need a big series out of him, Pete.
Yeah, this is a key guy. This is the guy that's going to have to get some hits. He leads the team in average home runs and RBIs, and he's the guy that's going to have to get it done.
You know, and you look at the Rice Owls, they have a great pitching staff, but they also have a terrific defense behind those pitchers. And a familiar name, Enrique Cruz, one of the Cruz boys, carrying on the tradition for the Owls.
Well, yeah, you know, here's one of the core guys for the Rice Owls. He's one of the best defensive players. He's a guy that's got to get things going for them, and he's the key guy. He's got to have a great series in order for them to win this thing.
Of course, Cruz and the Owls have only committed 46 errors all season, among the league leaders in the entire nation. It is a backyard brawl here at the Brick House. These two teams led by their inspirational leaders. It's Stuart Musselwhite for the Cougars. It's Chris Kolkhorst for the Owls. The first pitch when we come back. Well, the road to Omaha goes right through Reckling Park here in Houston, Texas. Bill Jones along with Pete Incaviglia for NCAA Super Regional action. Rainer Noble, the coach of the Houston Cougars, in his 9th year with the Cougs, and his team prepared to take on a crosstown rival for a trip to Omaha. First team to 2 wins goes to Omaha in the College World Series. Game one of a best-of-3 in the lineup for Rainer Noble's Cougars. Michael Bourne, the center fielder, leads off. He is fleet of foot. Travis Tully, a true freshman, hits second in the DH. It's Hung Cho at third base, batting third. The cleanup man is Cole Bruce, who had a terrific series in College Station last week. He's at second base. Brad Sullivan, an ace pitcher, playing first base tonight, hitting fifth, batting sixth. Another true freshman, Matt Farrington, in right field, a left-handed hitter. Gabe Lucas is in left field. Bottom third of the order, Stuart Musselwhite at shortstop, hitting eighth. And it's Nick Vaught behind the plate, catching for the Cougars. And defensively for the Rice Owls, one of the best defenses in the country, left to right in the outfield. It's Kolkhorst, Jorgensen, and Bubella. In the infield on the left side, Craig Stansberry and Paul Janisch. And on the right side, Enrique Cruz, along with Vincent Sinisi. And behind the plate, a good one defensively, Justin Ruckte. No errors for the catcher or the first baseman for the Rice Owls all season long. The Owls with 51 wins on the season. The Cougars are fired up in front of the first base dugout here at Reckling Park. 6th meeting of the year between these two teams. You look at the NCAA tournament national seeds. The Rice Owls 5th in the nation coming into this tournament. That's where they were seeded. With some of the national polls have had them ranked 1st or 2nd. Florida State, which is taking on Texas this weekend, seeded at number 1. So Rice, the home team in game 1 of this series, and they take the field first. Houston will be the home team tomorrow in game 2. And then if there is a need for a third game, it will come on Monday afternoon. They'll flip a coin to determine who is the who has home field. Philip Umber, the sophomore. What a terrific sophomore season after a sensational freshman season as well, Pete.
Yeah, you know, the thing that jumps out
jumps out at you about him is his 31 walks in 108 innings, and you know he's going to come at these guys with a four-seam fastball and a good curveball and a good split-fingered fastball, and he's the guy that's going to be around the plate, and you know he's the guy that's going to have to do it for him.
He is typical of so many of these Rice pitchers for Coach Wayne Graham, and Graham has been at the helm of the Owl program for 12 seasons. Prior to that, he was with San Jacinto Junior College here in Houston, a native Houstonian. He notched his 500th career win earlier this season. What a terrific coach Wayne Graham is. He knows all about this rivalry with the Houston Cougars.
Well, all of these kids have been playing against each other for a long time, and of course Rayner coached for me here my first 3 years that I was here. So, and there would be a natural rivalry even if they weren't playing against each other, because everybody wants to be the best team in your town. So it's a good rivalry, but it's played well. There's no what I would call bad blood at all. It's just hard competition.
In fact, Wayne Graham, the coach of the Rice Owls, got his master's degree in education from the University of Houston. The umpiring crew working this one. Randy Bruns, the crew chief, he works home plate. The hometown Waverly, Iowa training manager. These umpires have full-time jobs. They just do this on the weekend, and he's a good one. He's worked primarily Big 12 games this season. It is a beautiful evening for baseball here in Houston. The temperature is 90 degrees. It is warm. The humidity is less than 50%, which is good. It's a good day here in Houston. The wind is calm. It's sunny and warm weather till nightfall here in Houston, and this should be a good one. The Owls and the Cougars meeting for the 6th time this season. The Owls have won 4 of the previous 5 meetings, but none of the matchups as crucial as this series. Michael Bourne, the leadoff hitter for the Cougars, and he's had a nice season. Got off to a slow start due to an injury, had a wrist surgery, the Hemet bone. Had wrist surgery on earlier in the year, hitting over 300. And the first pitch from Philip Umber is a called strike one.
You know, this is the guy that's got to get this team going. This is the guy that's got to set the table and get on base and create some havoc here. You know, I like the fact that he's, you know, taking a pitch and trying to get Umber in a pitch count. And, you know, it's important. You know, it's important, you know, because as hot a day as it is today, you know, if you can get his pitch count up early, you might be able to get in that bullpen.
I'm talking to Rayner Noble. That is the strategy for the Houston hitters against this Rice pitching staff throughout this series. That one's fouled away. And it's a ball and 2 strikes to Bourne. Terrific ballpark here, Reckling Park.
Boy, you love the background here, don't you? You know, the buildings, and it's just it has kind of the allure of kind of like Wrigley Park or
Wrigley
Boston, or, you know, it's really neat. It's really a neat ballpark.
330 down the lines. Bourne with great speed, and no chance even if Cruz had fielded that one cleanly. Bourne was already past first base by the time he got to the ball.
Well, they said he could run. There it is.
So just the way the Cougs had hoped to start this one. Too tall for Umber, and then Cruz, who is terrific defensively, but no chances.
Well, that was the only play he had. The only thing he could do there is try and make a barehanded catch and make a quick throw to get, you know, get Bourne, who runs very well.
So Bourne is the base runner at first base, and he has 22 stolen bases on the season in 32 attempts. Umber working from the stretch. The bunt to the right side. Umber over to field. Underhand toss to Sinisi at first base. The sacrifice works for Travis Tully. It's his 7th sacrifice bunt of the season, and Bourne is quickly into scoring position.
Well, that's good fundamental baseball right there. And, you know, that's how this team has probably got here is by you know, pitching and defense and doing the little things right. And you know, laying down a bunt there early and trying to get runner in scoring position. I mean, that's ABC baseball right there. That's textbook baseball.
Hey, Rayner Noble freely admits that's what Houston has had to do this season. They lost one of their big power hitters in the middle of the lineup to an injury. Brett Cooley early in the year. This guy has picked up the slack. In the number 3 hole, Hung Cho. He leads in the Triple Crown categories. Number misses, ball 1.
Yeah, you know, this is the guy that's got to get the big hits today. You know, this is their offensive catalyst, and line drive base hit here and a run scored is going to do wonders for the University of Houston.
Bourne at second base, and a 1-0 pitch here to Hung Cho. It's fouled off on the right side. A ball and a strike. Cho, born in South Korea, but grew up in Toronto. Found his way to the University of Houston. Bill Jones and Pete Incaviglia were happy to be along here at Reckling Park in Houston. Couldn't have scripted it any better, I think. What a great rivalry, Houston and Rice. These two teams have met 121 times in history, but none of their meetings have been as important as this.
Yeah, it's amazing that these two teams, battle for the WAC title every year, and here they are battling to get to the College World Series. I mean, just, these guys have played together. They went to high school together. It's just an amazing thing.
Rainer Noble, who was an assistant under Wayne Graham at Rice. There's a lot of similarities between these two teams, and Umber falling behind in the count now, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Cho has a real nice approach. He doesn't do anything real violently. He has a very smooth approach. He looks like he's looking in a certain area for a pitch. He just seems like he's well schooled as far as his knowledge of the plate and what's a strike and what's a ball.
He was recruited as a shortstop. You see his numbers in the NCAA regional last weekend in College Station. A home run, 6 RBIs, and hit up near 400. Has an RBI opportunity here. Flag down, and Bourne caught between second and third. Well, Bourne, and now moving to second base is the runner, and Cho is out. It is a double play. Just as we were about to say, that's not the way you run a rundown.
Yeah, exactly.
It worked out very fine for the Rice Owls.
Well, I guess that's the reason why they're the #1 defense and the number 2 or 3 defense in the country.
It works out well for the home fans as the Owls get out of the top half of the first inning. And they go 1-2-3, go the Cougs. Wayne Graham's lineup for the Rice Owls in the bottom half of the inning. The catalyst. Chris Kolkhorst leads off. He's in left field. Paul Janisch, the shortstop, bats second. Hitting third, a draft pick of the Texas Rangers, Vincent Sinisi at first base. Enrique Cruz, the cleanup hitter, is at second base. It's Craig Stansberry batting fifth and playing third base. Austin Davis is the DH. He hits sixth in the bottom third of the order. The speedy center fielder, Jeff Jorgensen. Dane Bubella, also a draft pick of the Rangers, hits eighth in right field. And Justin Ruckte is the catcher. He bats ninth. And as the Cougars move into the field now, defensively, here's the way Noble's team sets up. In the outfield, it's Lucas in left, Bourne in center, and Farrington in right. On the corners of the infield, Cho's at third, and Brad Sullivan's at first. Stuart Musselwhite, Cole Bruce, the double play combination up the middle. Nick Bott is behind the plate. He always catches the lefty starter in game one, Danny Zell, Pete.
Yeah, Danny's had the most success against Rice. Talking to Rainer yesterday, and he feels like the left-hander can keep him off balance, and and they can get to Sullivan tomorrow. So it's going to be an interesting battle. He's a control guy. He's got to stay around the plate, and
well, Danny Zell, 8 wins on the season, looking for number 9. It's a big one. Let's take a look at the rundown. You'd like to make it maybe 1 or 2 throws on the rundown. Bourne caught between second and third, Pete.
Yeah, this can be a nightmare right here when you start too many people handling the ball. You like to have 1 or 2 throws and chase that guy back to second base so he doesn't get to third base. But fortunately, that it worked out for Rice, and then they got the runner going to second base. So it'll be interesting. It's just a very well-schooled defensive team, and they do all the little things very well.
So Cho thrown out, trying to advance to second base. And Michael Bourne was just trying to buy some time to get Cho to second base, and the risk did not work out for the Cougars in this case. But you wonder if maybe Rainer Noble's team needs to take some chances like that against such a quality pitching staff like Rice, and it just backfired on them in this case.
Well, you always want to be aggressive, as a player. You don't want to be on the base runs, being defensive. And, I think Rayner feels like they're going to have to do some, move some runners and hit and run and do some things that maybe they don't normally do because this team does have such a good pitching staff.
I think it's the same type of approach a big league team might take when Pedro Martinez is on the mound for the Red Sox, and you're facing a guy like Randy Johnson or Curt Schilling of the Diamondbacks.
There's no question. I mean, against those guys, every run is so important because, those guys can go out there, you score one run, and then shut you down for 8 more. So I think you're going to see Houston do some things that maybe they don't normally do and try and take some extra bases.
Chris Colcourse, the leadoff hitter for the Owls against Danny Zell here. Colcourse, the left fielder, hitting over .350 on the season. Takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-1.
Once again, these teams are so much alike. And, this guy is the guy that gets them going. He seems to be the guy that when he gets on base and he's swinging the bat well, offensively the team does well. So, he reminds me a lot of Lenny Dykstra, does what needs to be done. If you need a home run to win a game late, he's that type of guy. If you need somebody to get on base to score a run, he'll take a pitch or stick his arm out in front of a ball.
By a pitch too.
He'll do anything he can to get on base.
He's been hit by 21 pitches this season, and Zell ahead on the count, 0-2. Bouncer up the middle. Musselwhite, the shortstop, on to Sullivan, and 1 up, 1 down for the Owls in the bottom of the first inning. So nicely done for Danny Zell and the leadoff hitter Colcourse. That'll bring up Paul Janisch. Janisch, the shortstop out of Cypress, Texas. A lot of guys on both teams from the Houston area. What a hotbed for recruiting here in Houston. And a first pitch strike from Zell. Decision made by Rayner Noble to go with Danny Zell in game 1 of the series. This one's lifted down the line in right, and it goes foul.
Coach Graham was talking about Janisch a little bit, and he said, when he's hot, he can carry this team and be kind of a wild card in this series. Everybody's worried about the Sinise and Cruz. I think this guy might be a wild card because he's been swinging the bat well of late.
And he's a great defensive shortstop. In fact, Graham says he believes this may be the best defensive shortstop in the country, Paul Janisch. And strike 3. 2 up, 2 down. On 3 pitches, Danny Zell gets Paul Janisch.
Boy, that's a nice pitch. I mean, that's that's right on the corner. That call can go either way. The umpire can give it to you. You can call it strike 3. But with 2 strikes, you need to protect the plate. You can't let the umpire be the guy to take the bat out of your hands.
Zell hit his spot there as Nick Bott set up outside. He hit the target. Vincent Sinise, a sophomore, 2nd-round pick of the Texas Rangers in the amateur draft, and sharply hit. Headed for the gap. Bourne over to cut it off. Sinise will hold at first base. He's got a 2-out single. First hit of the evening for the Owls.
Boy, that's just an effortless swing. He doesn't. It's almost like Cho a little bit, where he's got a nice, short, compact swing, and just puts the head of the bat on the ball. He doesn't try and overswing the bat. I can see why the pro scouts were so excited about him this year.
In fact, he was considered to be a first-round prospect. His advisor happens to be Scott Boras. He fell to the 2nd round, probably because major league teams were concerned about his signability. Enrique Cruz, who knows a little something about major leaguers, his brother Jose Cruz Jr., now with the San Francisco Giants, and of course his dad, Jose Cruz. They coach with the Houston Astros, an 18-year big league career. And Cruz, what a nice season. He's raised the batting average this year up to nearly .350.
Yeah, he's raised it about 100 points. And from what I understand, he quit hitting left-handed. He hits solely right-handed now, and it seems to be working. I guess he hit against a right-hander for the first time this year, right-handed, and he ended up hitting a couple of home runs. So I guess he stayed on the right side, which is probably a good move for him.
As well as I remember, as Zell throws over to first base and Sinise back in, his brother Jose at one point early in his career tried switch hitting as well. And he hits exclusively from the left side.
pretty good play. He's
Yes.
having a monster season over there in San Francisco.
Ball gets away from Bott. And now in scoring position with 2 outs is Sinisi. That's one of the problems the Houston defense has had and the pitching staff has had, is the ball has gotten away from the catcher at times. They've had problems behind the plate and blocking pitches, and that one down in the dirt.
Yeah, you know, you need to get down on your knees and get your body in front of that ball. He just kind of tried to swipe at it, and when you swipe at pitches in the dirt, they usually take funny hops, and that's what happened.
Bott's had 14 pass balls. That is a wild pitch. It was down in the dirt. Sometimes,
you know, I like the way Zell's using both sides of the plate. You know, he's coming in. That looked like a little cutter on the inner half, and then he's throwing a little two-seamer away. You know, he's just one of those kind of feisty, you know, tough left-handers.
the old pitch is down in the dirt, and the 4-pitch walk to Cruz. So the Owls making some 2-out noise here in the bottom of the first inning. Well, we talked a lot about the Rice pitching staff already, among the nation leaders, 3rd in the nation in earned run average. But look at Danny Zell in the postseason in his career, a 208 earned run average. Danny Zell has been here in the postseason before, and he has performed in the postseason. Maybe one of the reasons that Rainer Noble did not hesitate to go with Zell as his game 1 starter against the Owls. Of course, Brad Sullivan is the ace of the staff. 1st-round draft pick. Craig Stansberry, the hitter, with 2 on and 2 out. And Sullivan will start game 2 tomorrow.
Well, that's going to be an interesting battle tomorrow, isn't it?
Sullivan against Jeff Neiman, who's unbeaten 15-0. This one's hit to the gap, left center field, way back there, but Bourne is there, and that will do it. No damage done. 2 men left on for the Owls. Brad Sullivan and the Cougars come to hit when we come back. Through 1 inning of play here at the Super Regional in Houston, Texas, the Houston Cougars against the 5th-seeded Rice Owls. Best of 3 for a trip to Omaha, Nebraska. Brad Sullivan will lead off for the Cougars. Cole Bruce will lead off here in the 2nd inning. Sullivan will hit 2nd, to be followed by Matt Farrington. 4, 5, and 6 hitters in the lineup for Rainer Noble. Bruce had a great series last weekend in College Station. The Cougars played 5 games. They lost their first game of the series, or of the regional, in College Station to Alabama. They got blown out, really, 9-3. But Cole Bruce was 9 for 18 in the regional in the 5 games. They swept through their final 4 games, and a date with the guys right across the street, the Rice Owls.
Well, he sure looks like a good athlete. You know, anytime you hit 500 in a regional, that deserves an MVP award in my book.
I think so. And that's the other thing that the Cougars as a team did last weekend. You know, on the season they hit just 280, but last weekend they hit more like 320. So it made a big difference, and it was the top of the batting order that came through big time for Houston.
You know, if these guys can score some runs, you know, they got the great closer in Wagner, and they got the good starting pitcher tomorrow in Sullivan. I mean, these guys, you know, if they can just hang around until late in the game and score some runs, it's going to be an interesting series.
Boy, the talent on both of these pitching staffs. So you mentioned Sullivan. We're seeing Danny Zell pitch for Houston, and Rice goes very deep in big league talented type pitchers, and Umber is just one of them. Umber was not drafted because he wasn't eligible for the draft. He's just a sophomore, and all 3 of the scheduled starters for Rice in this series are sophomores. They'll be back next year. They weren't even eligible for the draft.
How about Neiman? If you wonder where Sasquatch is, we know he's at.
Through the left side, and Cole Bruce has the 2nd hit of the evening for the Owls, and it's the 2nd straight inning that, or rather for the Cougars, in the 2nd straight inning that the Cougars have their leadoff man on.
Well, he continues to stay hot. I mean, that's a good thing for Houston. I mean, if they can score some runs, you know, they got enough pitching, and they got that good bullpen over there. It's going to be an interesting.
Brad Sullivan, 1st-round pick of the Oakland A's, the 25th overall selection. And that was for his pitching. He's one of the top pitchers in the country. Looks the bunt. It's a strike. 0-1.
You know, Rainer really likes this guy, you know, just the way he competes. You know, he was kind of questioning, you know, the fact of whether to put him on the field or to rest him for the game tomorrow. But he just loves this guy. He's a good athlete, and he loves to compete. And it's hard to keep guys off the field that like to compete.
You know, and he was recruited as a shortstop, and they thought as a relief pitcher. As it turned out, he turned into a starting pitcher, and he has played some second base, some first base for Houston. And Noble decided to go ahead and play him at first base in this series, in game one anyway, so that he wouldn't have to make any throws from second base or any relay throws from the outfield in this series, and rest up a little bit. But the fact is, he wanted his bat in the lineup because he's such a competitor.
Yeah, I think that's it. You like to have a bunch of guys that like to play and like to compete every day. And this guy's one of theirs, base hit.
And he's hitting up around 400 and going to third base is Cole Bruce. And the Cougars got something going here in the second inning. First two men have reached, nobody out.
Man can do it all. Boy, that's just a nice level swing. You know, he's got live feet. You know, good hitters have good athletic feet, and he's just a good athlete, just like what Raynor said. It's a good level swing. Put the bat on the ball, didn't try and do too much with it, and here we go. We're first and third, and nobody out.
Sullivan's got some speed at first base too, as Bruce is at third base. He had the leadoff single to the left side, and Sullivan follows with another base hit, and Umber in some trouble here. Matt Farrington, the hitter, a true freshman, on the inside corner for a strike.
Well, that's good. You know, Umber's getting ahead of the first hitter. I mean, the last two hitters he got behind, and anytime you get behind, you got to throw the ball over the middle of the plate. You know, guys are going to feast on it, especially these two well-taught teams.
Farrington, a gap hitter, has a lot of doubles on the season. This one is bounced on the right side for an 0-2 count to Farrington. Well, the road to Omaha takes you in this Super Regional through Houston, Texas. Bill Jones along with Pete Incaviglia. We are scoreless, but the Cougars are threatening here in the second inning. Runners at the corners with nobody out for Matt Farrington. Philip Umber ahead in the count. And a good job by Ruckte keeping that ball from getting past him.
You know, that looked like that split finger that he's so fond of. You know, when he's got two strikes, he's trying to get somebody to chase that pitch. Watch this thing fall down. I mean, that's a pretty good split. He's just trying to get him to go fishing, and Farrington in this at bat should be trying to get the ball in the air to get that run home from third.
Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You don't want to swing at a ball that's down in the zone. You don't want a ground ball here. You don't want to turn. You want Houston to turn a double play. What you want is you want to get a ball up in the zone, something you can lift in the air to get that runner home from third. And Umber's trying to keep that ball down to get him to roll over on a ground ball.
It's fouled back. Rice infield playing double play depth halfway in the infield up the middle, as looks like they'll take the double play. There's a ground ball hit towards the middle. Two balls and 2 strikes. Just got a piece of that one. Well, Rice this year had a 30-game win streak, and one of the reasons why was the terrific fielding. In the course of that win streak, just 17 errors committed. They ranked second in the country in fielding percentage at .980, just 46 errors in 61 games played, and the earned run average, it's up there among the national leaders at .276. A round on that one into the Cougar dugout on the first base side.
Well, you watch Rice take infield. I mean, they just take a real good, crisp infield. They're a well-oiled, well-trained defensive team. I mean, in college baseball, sometimes defense gets overlooked, but this ball club here is just actually fun to watch. I mean, they make all the plays. They got good athletes at every position. Pitching and defense take you a long way in the postseason.
Houston just hopes it has enough to match the Owls this weekend, and at least on that pitch, that at bat, Umber had enough to match Matt Farrington. There is a big strikeout.
Boy, that's a pretty good curveball right there. You know, I think he left it up a little higher probably than what he wanted to, but you know, like I said, you know, Farrington was looking for something up in the zone he can get in the air, and you know, he got it. He just swung and missed it.
So Wayne Graham will head out to the mound to discuss matters here with 1 out and runners at the corners. Both teams will huddle up at this point as the Cougars huddle by the first base line.
You don't see this very often.
No, you don't.
You know? They're going to put the pads on now?
It looks like. You know, Texas has been known as football country. Houston has been baseball country, and Texas is a pretty good baseball state as well. But they huddle up and now ready, break. It's time for some baseball action. Well, Wayne Graham, the coach of the Owls, he's been around some good ones in his career. And the way he can teach some pitching as well. When he was at San Jack, Roger Clemens, Andy Pettit. Of course, he's had some at Rice as well.
Some pretty good names right there. Did Roger get his 300th today?
Did not get it today. Did not get it. He matched up against another Texan, Kerry Wood. Gabe Lucas, the hitter here. First and third, 1 out. And there is a strike, 0-1.
Looked like they had the safety squeeze on there. You know, the runner's not going to be running, but if he gets the ball down and gets it by the pitcher, you know, the run's going to score. You know, not a bad play. You know, Rayner's, I think, going to pull out. Is not going to hold back in this game. He's going to pull out all the stops.
And I think Graham realizes that Noble might pull out all the stops, and that's why they decided this is a good time to have a team meeting. Runner goes at first base. It's a strike at the plate. He's out at second base. Runner holds at third. 2 outs. Brad Sullivan cut down, and you saw there Justin Ruckty, the catcher. He has thrown out 57% of the attempted base stealers on the season. An incredible figure.
You know, Gabe did everything he could to try to get the bat on that ball. You know, it's a hit and run, and sometimes when a pitcher makes a pitch like that, I mean, you look ugly trying to swing at it, but he was trying to protect his teammate. That's all he could do to, you know, try and get a bat on.
Now 2 outs with the runner at third. And an 0-2 pitch from Umber, and it gets past the catcher and in to score. The first run of this game is Cole Bruce.
You know, that's the bad thing about when you throw a lot of split fingers. Sometimes you throw that thing about 55 feet and there's nothing the catcher can do. And I think you know, when you're trying to strike people out, I mean, that's not the catcher's fault. That's just a wild pitch and nothing you can do about that.
Well, all season the Rice pitchers have benefited from having a guy like Ruckty who can block everything behind the plate, but that one was just too tough for him to handle. And strike 3. But the Cougars are on the board. Umber gets 2 strikeouts in the inning, but the Cougars score a run on the wild pitch. 1-0 Houston through an inning and a half. Capacity crowd here at Reckling Park on the campus of Rice University. Houston leads Rice 1-0. We are early on. A full day of games in these super regionals across the country. Baylor and LSU, the Tigers winning today to even up that series. The deciding game 3 tomorrow. Arizona State and Cal State Fullerton. Fullerton leads that one. Stanford leads the series over Long Beach State. USC, South Carolina, that is, wins its series with North Carolina. Tonight, just getting started a little bit, Texas and Florida State game 1. Miami wins this afternoon 10-9 on a bottom of the 9th inning home run. Southwest Missouri State and Ohio State get started in just a bit. In fact, in that Miami game, it was Ryan Braun hitting a walk-off home run for the Hurricanes, his second home run of the game for a come-from-behind 10-9 win. Rice hits here in the bottom of the second. Austin Davis leading it off against Danny Zell. Davis to be followed by Jeff Jorgensen and Dane Bubella. And it's a ball and a strike to Austin Davis, the junior out of Spring Branch Memorial. In fact, the first 2 hitters Zell faces here, both from Spring Branch Memorial. Davis pops it up behind second base. Musselwhite, the shortstop, camped. And he did come up with it, though it was a bit of an adventure. So 1 out in the second inning.
Come on, Ford. Come on now.
You know, Musselwhite's actually doing a good job keeping that glove up there. And then when he drops that glove, probably that glare got to him a little bit. And, you know, being a good athlete and being athletic, you know, it's just a darn fine play. And, you know, those things can end up anyway. You know, them pop-ups are not easy to catch, I can tell you.
Of course, it is a setting sun over the first base stands here. So he's using the glove to shield the eyes. And not a cloud in the sky. But the sun can be rather glaring this time of the evening. This is Jeff Jorgensen at the plate. This was a track star at Rice, and his first year playing college baseball has been a pretty good one, Pete.
You know, when you talk to Coach Graham about him, he just looks at it and says, he can run. He can run. And I kind of looked at him and said, well, you know, you can't steal first base. Can he hit?
Well, he's hitting .310.
He is.
Sends this one the other way, opposite field. The right fielder Farrington is back for it, and he's got it for the second out. But the Houston Astros have noticed about Jeff Jorgensen. He was a 7th-round draft pick of the Astros. In this, just his first year playing college baseball, he is after running track for Rice for 3 years.
Well, you know, the pro scouts like 3 things. They like a guy who can throw 95 to 100 miles an hour. They love speed, and they love a guy who can hit it a mile. So, you know, he runs like the wind, and you know, pro scouts love that kind of stuff.
Texas Rangers scouts like Dane Bubella. He was his 22nd round pick of the Rangers in the draft, and Bubella, hitting 8th in the order for the Owls, has been a hot hitter late in the season, hitting over .300 on the year. Trying to get something going with 2 outs. It's a foul ball, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, I think Houston scoring first is, you know, probably going to give them a little bit of confidence, and I think it was probably real important that they got on the board first, and you know, Danny can kind of settle in and start moving that ball around, and you know, if they can just stay within striking distance this whole game, you know, they got that big gun in the bullpen.
That's exactly right.
From what I understand, it's lights out when he takes them out.
That big gun is Ryan Wagner, and Danny Zell just hopes to have a lead into about the 7th inning, and Wagner could come on. Fielding the ball is Sullivan, shows his athleticism as he makes the play, and the Owls go quietly in the 2nd inning. Michael Bourne will be hitting 3rd when the Cougars come to the plate in the 3rd inning. Rainer Noble, the coach of the Houston Cougars. Of course, he pitched at Houston. He was also an assistant coach for the Cougars, was an assistant coach at Rice as well before becoming the head coach in 1995. But prior to that, he was at Spring Woods High School, and check out who his high school teammate was, one Roger Clemens. Clemens was a junior when Noble was a senior. In fact, Noble was the ace of the staff. Clemens was actually the number 2 or number 3 pitcher on the staff. With 13 wins, not a bad season for Roger Clemens, who once again was going for his 300th win, but
he looked a little on the hefty side there, didn't he?
Well, things have turned out pretty well for one Roger Clemens and for Rainer Noble, for that matter.
No kidding.
Stuart Musselwhite is leading off for the Cougars here in the 3rd inning. Musselwhite, another one of those from Houston. Towards the middle, Cruz with a backhand and a nice play. Enrique covering some ground, and there's 1 up, 1 down for the Cougars in the 3rd.
You know, this is just an excellent play. You know, he's got good range. He knows who's running. He knows Musselwhite runs real well, and just makes, you know, it's a quick reaction, and he just makes that quick backhand and makes that quick throw. That's just, you know, another good defensive play by the Rice team.
Cruz is in his first year as the starting 2nd baseman. Split time as an infielder and DH last year, and he had 16 home runs. Nick Bott, the hitter, the number 9 hitter for the Cougars. It was split time with Brett Logan behind the plate this season.
You know, Rainer said that he's a better offensive player than his other catcher, and to me, you know, in a big game, you know, probably we'll see the other guy late in the game, but he probably understands that he needs to score some runs, and you know, they need to score some runs so they can you know, have the lead, get into their big horses in the bullpen.
The other thing with Bott, he has caught Danny Zell all season, and so they have a good thing going all year. And what usually happens, according to Noble, is as they get late in the game and Ryan Wagner, who's got some filthy stuff, he comes on, then they'll go with the a better defensive catcher, Brett Logan. But Bott's been a nice pickup for the Cougars this year because they really had some problems behind the plate, as the guy that they expected to catch a lot this year, Brian Tempko, was injured prior to the season, and Bott came at mid-semester to the Cougars. And there is a one-out walk. So Umber walks the number 9 hitter. First walk issued by Umber. And that'll bring up the top of the order in Michael Bourne. Umber does not walk very many on the season. 31 walks and 108 innings pitched coming in tonight.
You know, Houston's done a good job of getting into counts and seeing a lot of pitches, and I mean, they're doing exactly what Rayner told us they were going to do last night. Is they're going to try and take a pitch and make Umber get into some counts, and you know, it seems to be working. You know, the guys in the lineup are doing a very good job of making Umber work early in this game.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Bourne, and he misses 2-0. You know, Houston, they were really on the bubble even making the NCAA tournament early in the month of May, and even going back to April. Although they started the season ranked in the top 10 in the country, they had some injury problems, and the first half of the season they started slowly, and they finally started rounding into form a little bit. One of the big wins was against Rice, the 5th meeting of the year between the two schools. Rice won the first 4 meetings, and then they had some big wins in May. They were on the bubble, but they got in, and now they are making the most of the opportunity.
Yes, they are. You know, it's kind of a funny situation. They're more friends than they are, you know, bad blood rivals. So it's an interesting scenario going on here today.
Shows bunt, takes a ball.
You know, Umber doesn't seem like he has his control right now. He seems to be up with everything. Seems like his curveball's up, his fastball's up in the zone. You know, he's a guy who's only walked, you know, 31 people in 108 innings. So
there's a strike, 3-1.
Yeah, he just kind of threw that right down the middle. You know, when you get frustrated as a pitcher, you know, and you try and, you know, throw darts with that baseball, and sometimes you forget to throw it, and you know, you don't quite finish down with your arm, and you leave the ball up in the zone.
And strike 2. Bourne with the infield single in the first. There's strike 2.
Yeah, that ball had some good movement on it. That's a good pitch. There's not many people going to hit that pitch right there.
Payoff pitch. It is popped down the left field line, shading the eyes. The left fielder Kokhorst, he makes the play, and there is the second out. Well, that's a nice battle back for Philip Umber to get the out. Well, we talked about Umber's split finger pitch. When he was at Carthage High School, he didn't need a split finger pitch, but he realized he probably needed another pitch to compete at this level. And it was when the Owls last year were playing at Minute Maid Park, as Travis Tully stands in with 2 outs, that he decided to go with the split finger pitch. And he looked up on the Jumbotron at Minute Maid Park and saw a video where Tim Hudson was talking about how he grips his split finger pitch, and said, you know, I'm going to try that. A couple of weeks later, he was using it in the game.
That's an interesting story there. You don't hear that too much. You know, guys looking up on a scoreboard and saying, hey, you know what, that looks like it might help me. But, you know, that just goes to show you what kind of competitor this kid is. He wants to get better, and you know, he'll do anything to get better. And, you know, he's just looking up on the scoreboard, just trying to, you know, make his stuff a little bit better.
Wade Townsend in the bullpen, and Townsend has put up some numbers this year, and especially against the Houston Cougars. You talk about a guy who has come through big time for Wayne Graham, whether it's as a starter or as a reliever. It's been Wade Townsend. He's penciled in as the Game 3 starter if needed on Monday, but as you can see, he could play tonight, he could pitch tonight. Sinisi makes the play at first base. The Cougars leave a man on. Chris Kokhorst will get a chance to hit when we come back. 1-0 Houston leads Rice in this battle of crosstown rivals here in Houston. Reckling Park at Rice University. Let's flash back 19 years ago tonight, June 7, 1984, Pete Incaviglia for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. That's Mike Day, the catcher, crossing home plate. And the Cowboys win 8-7 in the losers bracket of the College World Series?
That's unbelievable. As a matter of fact, I saw Coach Winkin down here, who was the head coach for New Orleans, and he was just saying, you know what, you killed me all the time. You killed me, and I went, Coach, I'm sorry, I'm just here to do the ESPN stuff. I'm not putting on a uniform.
Well, it brings back some great memories, doesn't it?
No question. I think that, the College World Series, the only thing you can really compare it to is, the postseason of professional ball. It's just an amazing thing.
Justin Ruckte puts some power into this one into left center field, but Michael Bourne is there for the out, and there is one out. That's 5 in a row retired by Danny Zell. Wayne Graham, the coach of the Rice Owls, on the next hitter, Chris Kolkhorst, what he means to this Rice Owl team.
Well, Kolkhorst leads by example. He plays hard every day. He won't tell you when he's hurt. He just plays. He's a great leader by example.
Kolkhorst, the leadoff hitter for the Owls, who bounced to short his first time.
He even hits like Lenny Baxter. He kind of gets bent over. I love how he sticks his shoulder in there. He's going to do anything to get on base, no matter what. And that's what you need out of a leadoff hitter. You need a guy who can foul off some balls, take some pitches.
Danny Zell fields his position. It'll help that he's a left-handed pitcher, sticks out the right hand, the glove, and makes the play.
That's pretty good. He hit that ball very well. Just sometimes. Sometimes everybody tries to teach you to hit the ball up the middle, and sometimes you hit up the middle and it hits that right in front of the plate, and it's real hard, and it goes right back to the pitcher. That's when you got that old saying when you say, hitting the ball up the middle is overrated sometimes,
Helps that Danny Zell's about 6'4", had some reach there and comes up with it. Zell has retired 6 in a row, and this is just what the Cougars were hoping to see out of their starter. This is the 3rd straight inning that he's retired the first 2 batters in an inning. Now Paul Janisch, who struck out his first time.
He's using both sides of the plate. Here he is. He's going outside. Pitcher's setting up.
Musselwhite to his left. Behind second base, he makes the play. And for the 2nd straight inning, Zell sets down the Owls in order. We are through 3 innings at Rice, and Houston leads. Houston leads Rice 1-0 as we go to the 4th inning here at Reckling Park. Hung Cho, the number 3 hitter for the Cougars, has a chance to lead this team in all of the Triple Crown offensive categories.
I think it's mainly dealing with adversity and the mental game of baseball. And through the first couple of seasons, I've been struggling, and I thought mentally I got a lot stronger and I matured more as a ball player.
His numbers have really gone up this season in every category, and as if on cue, Hung Cho has a base hit through the left side.
Well, there's an old saying, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you a better person. It sounds like that. Sounds like he's, worked some things out, and it's made him a better hitter. That's just a nice swing, he's not trying to do too much with the ball. He's not trying to jerk it out of the ballpark. His head's nice and still. He's just trying to put the bat on the ball, and when you have a good swing, if you overswing, you pull your head off the bat. So you always want to have about 75% of power in your swing. You don't ever want to swing about 100% because it jolts your head offline.
Cho is aboard. It's the 3rd time in 4 innings now that the Cougars have gotten the leadoff man on, and Cole Bruce tries to take advantage. Talking about Hung Cho and his numbers, his improvement over last year, nearly 100 points in batting average. He's got 8 more home runs. He's doubled his home run total, and he's more than doubled his RBI total from last year. And some of the things he talks about that he's had to work through, he's been beset with numerous injuries in his career here at Houston.
Yeah, a lot of times, when you keep backpedaling on injuries, and you don't get the work and you don't get out there and play at this college level on a daily basis, you'll get better the more you get to compete. And if you're not getting to compete on on a daily basis, it takes a while for you to catch up to good college NCAA baseball.
Rayner Noble recruited Cho as a shortstop. That's what he played when Noble first saw him at the area code games in Chicago, and shortly thereafter he suffered a knee injury, ACL injury, and so he doesn't have the range that he once had. That's why he's playing third base.
Yeah, third base. You just need to have good reaction and have a step and a dive. You don't need to have necessarily the range of the shortstop.
And he has since had another knee surgery last summer. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Bruce. Well, we mentioned Bruce hitting 500 last weekend in College Station with a base hit tonight. Now hitting over 500 in the postseason. He's taken to this cleanup spot in the order. He was a mid-season insertion into the lineup for the Cougars.
Well, that's what you need. You need a couple guys getting hot at the right time in these regionals and playoff games, situations like this. And it seems like Cho's been swinging the bat pretty well today, and Bruce seems to just stayed hot throughout the whole regionals.
Payoff pitch upstairs, climbing the ladder. It's a foul tip, held on, and it is a strikeout, and there is one down. Third strikeout for Umber.
Well, that's a ball that's up in the zone, as a hitter, and that ball looks like a big softball, but it's one of the hardest pitches to hit, the ball up in the zone. So it's just when you got 2 strikes on you like that, you get a ball up in the zone that you see real well, you're usually going to take a hack at it.
Here's Brad Sullivan, and there's a strike 0-1. Sullivan had the single his first time up. But through the first 3 months of the season, Sullivan did not play in the field. It wasn't until the month of May before Rayner Noble finally decided, well, you're pitching great for us, Brad, but I need you to do more. I need you to play some first base. I need you to play some second base. He's had 3 starts at first, 3 more at second, and he's hit up near 400 when the Cougars really needed it. As I mentioned, they were on the bubble, and they were able to come up with enough wins to get in the tournament, and now making some noise, and it's Sullivan making noise. Giannis to Cruz on to first, not in time.
Boy, what a nice play.
A prime example of this Rice defense, and they almost got 2.
Boy, that's a nice play. That's a nice flip, and that's a nice turn by Cruz, too. Boy, that was a close play over there.
Well, here at Reckling Park, the Rice Owls trailing the Houston Cougars by a run. Bill Jones and Pete Incaviglia, glad you could be along as well, as this is game 1 of the best-of-3 series between the Cougars and the Owls. Now 2 outs, and Umber delivers strike 1 to Matt Farrington.
Well, that's pretty much what we expected. Good pitching, low-scoring game, kind of a pitcher's duel, and good defensive plays on both sides. This is good old-school baseball right here.
And typical of the matchups this season between the Owls and the Cougars during the regular season. Fouled off, 0-2. During the regular season, they play for the Silver Glove. It's the Silver Glove series, started about 6 years ago, where these 2 teams got together, decided let's play each other 5 times every year. And the winner gets the Silver Glove. Rice got the Silver Glove. I guess Wayne Graham has it somewhere in his trophy case this year. But Houston can have the last laugh. This time, Philip Umber has the last laugh. 2 strikeouts in the inning. He catches Farrington looking to end the top half of the 4th inning. Houston with the lead. Enrique Cruz will hit second when we come back, but Umber is on track. Just a great evening for baseball here in the city of Houston, and a backyard brawl of sorts. There are some Cougar fans in attendance, not far away, of course. The Super Regional continuing across the country. Baylor fell today to LSU. That series knotted up. Arizona State leading Cal State Fullerton tonight by a run, but Fullerton leads overall 1-0. Stanford leads Long Beach State in that series 1-0. And South Carolina is headed to Omaha, sweeping in North Carolina. Texas and Florida State rained out in Tallahassee tonight. Game 1 now will be tomorrow in Tallahassee. Miami wins on a late home run over NC State. And the Houston Rice winner will play the winner of Southwest Missouri State and Ohio State in the College World Series in Omaha starting next weekend. Houston up by a run, and Danny Zell has been very strong here, especially of late. 7 in a row retired by Danny Zell, and Vincent Sinisi, who got the first hit, the only hit for Rice in this game, leads it off here in the 4th.
You know, he's been swinging the bat well. He's got a nice swing. I love his approach. Just very relaxed hands, quiet. He's got some quick hands.
Think he might like the ballpark in Arlington, that
oh boy,
home run porch?
No kidding. I think he's going to really enjoy that. That is pretty much an airport to right center and right field.
Yep, get that jet stream to right center field. Sinisi will like that. If the Rangers sign him, or able to sign him. Ball and a strike. By the way, that Texas-Florida State Series, Game 1 is tomorrow now in Tallahassee because it's rained out tonight. It will continue through Tuesday. Game 2 will be on Monday, and Game 3, if necessary, on Tuesday. Ball and 2 strikes to Sinisi. Let's take a look at.
Yeah, boy, this is a good breaking ball, a good sweeping breaking ball. Boy, he's using both sides of the plate. He's never given a hitter a chance to lock in on an area, in or out. He's just going in and out and just changing speeds. It's pitching a fine ball game.
I'll say a strikeout to start the 4th, getting the Owls' top hitter. That's
yeah, it's hard to get it from my standpoint to look at that pitch and say that was a strike or a ball because you just don't know what camera angle it is.
I thought you were speaking as from a hitter's standpoint.
Exactly. I've stood there many times looking like that, going, huh?
0-1 to Enrique Cruz. Well, Randy Bruns calling balls and strikes tonight, and one thing about him, he has been consistent for both sides.
Yeah, I think he's done a good job. I think he's given a little bit of the corner for each pitcher, but as long as an umpire is consistent, no matter if he's consistently calling a pitch, he's consistently calling it for both sides, you don't have a problem with that. It's when an umpire kind of changes his strike zone in midstream and doesn't give a pitch that he's been given to somebody else.
Lined right at the second baseman Bruce, and quickly there are 2 outs.
Well, that was a good swing right there. I can see why the Yankees are excited about this young man.
Speaking of Enrique Cruz, a 14th round pick of the Yankees. He was a 13th round pick of the Reds. Coming out of high school, Bel Air High School here in Houston. State champion team. A national champion team at Bel Air High School, which I suppose is a mythical national championship, but they'll claim it anyway. And check out the lineage here. The Cruz family, of course, Jose the father, a 19-year major league career, primarily spent with the Astros. And Jose Jr. has been with several teams now, with San Francisco having a nice year. Musselwhite throws out Stansberry. Enrique trying to follow in the footsteps of father and brother and doing a good job, but so is Danny Zell through 4. If you're a college baseball fan, there's nothing quite like this time of the year. Rice Owl fans have grown very familiar with it over the last 8 to 10 years. The Owls have made it a habit to play deep in the postseason, and they are playing deep again this year, and so are the Houston Cougars, and Houston leading Rice 1-0 through 4 innings. Reckling Park is the home of the Owls. Opened in the year 2000, a terrific ballpark. Seats 3,500, but they'll have upwards of 4,000 here tonight. Standing room only. Gabe Lucas, little half swing strike.
That's a pretty good breaking ball right there. He looks like Umber's starting to settle down a little bit. Looks like he's not rushing his pitches as much, and he just seems to have a little better poise on the mound right now than he did maybe the first couple innings.
The Cougar hitters were working him over pretty good, making him throw a lot of pitches early on, but he gets his second straight strikeout. 3 of the last 4 hitters have struck out against Umber now. So 1 out. Stuart Musselwhite, the hitter, he was involved in the game-winning play that got the Cougars to play in this series.
when I put the bat on the ball, all I was thinking is, man, we got to play another inning now. But as I'm running down the first baseline, just going all out, and I see the first baseman jump across in front of me, and therefore I knew the ball was a wild throw, and we knew that the run was in and we were going to win the game and head over here to Rice and play them.
How dramatic is that? Bottom of the 10th inning. Houston was the home team playing against Texas A&M in College Station. They won the flip to become the home team, and it was Stuart Musselwhite with a little comebacker to the mound, and Matt Farnham threw the ball away, and the winning run scored, and the Cougars ran all the way back to Houston where they're playing Rice tonight.
Isn't that great? That's a Cinderella story.
Well, it's not
right
great
there.
If you're an Aggie.
Yeah, you're right. It's not great if you're an Aggie, but what a way to win a ball game right there, you know. I mean, all the ways you think you could win a ball game late in the game, that ain't one of them.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Houston played A&M early in the year, and Houston scored the tying run in an even more bizarre way when the A&M catcher overthrew the pitcher on a routine throw back to the mound. And Brad Sullivan scored the tying run. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Musselwhite. Did he go around?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, in slow motion, every time, an umpire told me one time, 95% of the time, there's no way to hold your hands back.
Enrique Cruz, he has a way to throw out Musselwhite at first base. And there are 2 outs here in the 5th inning. We got Cruz defensively. Tough play here, Pete.
Yeah, it is a tough play. It's one of those in-between hoppers, and you know, you either got to have a choice of going in and charge it and get it before the second hop, or you just lay back. And you know, a lot of times, you know, you just got to have instinct, and that's what I like about Enrique. He's got good instinct. You know, he seems to be around the ball and in the right position most of the time to make a good play. So, you know, he's a very good defensive player. They're very well schooled defensively.
Of course, you see so many sons of major leaguers who go ahead and follow in Dad's footsteps. Growing up around the ballpark sure helps.
Well, both of the other Cruzes were outfielders. He'd be the first infielder.
Of course, Jose Cruz Jr. was a center fielder for the Owls. Number just misses, does not get the call from Randy Bruns this time. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, I guess it could only have been up. I think it pretty much caught the plate.
3 balls and 1 strike now. Umber appears to be a little hot under the collar. Has a chance still to get him. The 3-1 pitch is lined to third base. Stansbury makes the play. And I don't know if it was quietly, but the Cougars do go in order. Jeff Jorgensen will hit when we come back for Rice. Beautiful campus here at Rice University. The Owls don't like what they're seeing on the scoreboard over at Reckling Parkville right now as they trail the Houston Cougars 1-0. They do like what they saw in the amateur draft, however, on Tuesday. No less than 8 Owl players were taken in the draft, including the closer, David Ardsma, who went in the first round, 22nd overall to the Giants. Sinisi went to the Rangers. Stansbury in the 5th round to the Pirates. This guy, Jeff Jorgensen, a 7th round pick of the Astros. Ruckty, a 9th round pick of the Seattle Mariners. Enrique Cruz went in the 14th round to the New York Yankees. 8 Owl players were drafted and 6 Cougar players were drafted. Houston had 2 first-rounders. Rice had 1 first-rounder, and really Vincent Sinisi probably would have gone in the first round if not for the signability questions. He went the 2nd round to the Rangers. And leading off here is Austin Davis. Boy, Davis has had a lot of success against the Cougars this year and in his career. He's 0 for 1 tonight against Danny Zell, though.
He just looks he looks comfortable out there, doesn't he, Zell? He looks like he's just almost looks like he's asleep out there on the mound. You know, he's doing it's amazing to me what kind of poise this kid has. I mean, he just seems to be just throwing, hitting his spots. Doesn't seem to be overthrowing the ball.
One thing I was impressed with Zell yesterday was he just seemed cool. He seemed like he wasn't going to bow into the pressure. And we were even kidding him about the way he wears the bill of his cap. And he says, well, what do you expect? I'm a lefty. You know, I'm a quirky left-hander. And, you know, the shape of the bill of his cap is a bit unusual, wouldn't you say, as a big leaguer?
Well, left-handers are just different, period.
That's a 4-pitch walk to Davis to start the 5th inning. And Zell has not been any trouble as far as his pitch count goes. He's averaging right around 10 pitches an inning, which is terrific. 42 pitches as he's into the 5th inning now. But this is the first time this evening that the Owls have gotten the leadoff man on in an inning. And he seems unfazed, at least looking at him there. The body language, he seems unfazed by the 4-pitch walk.
Yeah, you know, it's just you can't really tell that he's in a pressure-filled game. He just kind of looks like he's just going about his business, which is great.
Well, the bunt attempt by Jorgensen is fouled off. 0-1.
Well, I would imagine in this situation, you're either going to try and bunt this guy over, or you're going to let Jorgensen try and, stay inside of baseball and hit it the other way, and Zell's going to try and keep the ball down and try and get a ground ball where they can turn a double play. So, that's the whole battle between the pitcher and the hitter is getting something that you can do something with and move that runner from first base to second base.
Austin Davis, the runner at first, Jeff Jorgensen at the plate. They were teammates in high school. It's a ball and a strike. The Owls were in need of a center fielder this year, and Jorgensen, after running track for 3 years, it was his friend Austin Davis who convinced him to go out for baseball last fall. And the Owls were impressed. Actually, it started last summer, and he had a strong summer league season. And Wayne Graham, as it turns out, makes him a starting center fielder this season. Tough play. And safe at first base for the speed of Jorgensen. And it was in between Zell and the first baseman Sullivan. And now the Owls really got something going.
Boy, he can really run. He gets down that line in a hurry. That was a nice bunt, too. He squares around, drops the head of the bat on the ball, and just outruns the guy covering second base. I mean, he's built exactly the way Coach Graham said. He can really run.
He can get down the line very quickly, and it was the second baseman Bruce over trying to take the throw, but Jorgensen beats it. And 2 on, nobody out. Number 8 hitter is Dane Brubella. He's hitting over 300 on the season. He has come on strong late in the year, sacrifice situation, and it is a strike 0-1. We talk about Houston playing small ball a lot, but with Wayne Graham, his team is going to be well schooled in these fundamentals as well.
And no question. Wayne Graham teaches the small ball very well. These guys are going to bunt. They're going to hit and run. They're going to be able to handle the bat. And I would imagine that he's going to try and lay one down right here and get it down.
Zell will get him at third base, though. A throw back across by Cho, not in time. Brubella is unable to get the runners over. There is 1 out. Sacrifice attempt fails.
Yeah, as the bunter in that situation, you want to make sure that first baseman's fielding the ball. You don't want to, especially with a left-handed pitcher, because his glove side is on the third base side, and it makes it an easy play at third base. So I'm sure Coach Graham would have liked to see that bunt go down the first base line rather than the third base line.
So Brubella's at first, and Jorgensen's over at second. And now the number 9 hitter, Justin Ruckte. 2 on, 1 out. Huge out for Zell. That is a foul ball. Making a bid for extra bases was Ruckte. But throughout this Owl lineup, they've got 300 hitters. Ruckte is the lone hitter in the order for Rice who is not hitting 300, but he's hitting 295. So not bad for Ruckte, particularly considering his defensive capabilities behind the plate. No errors as a catcher.
That's pretty amazing. No errors as a catcher.
Yeah.
Sinisi the same way. No errors at first base.
Many times as they're touching the baseball and no errors. Away for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ruchte. And Ruchte, a 9th round pick of the Seattle Mariners.
You know, right here, Ruchte, you know, needs to get something, you know, that he can drive in the gap somewhere. You know, he doesn't want to, you know, wave at a changeup. He wants to get something he can drive in the gap somewhere and score a couple runs right here. You know, Zell just doesn't give in. You know, he keeps throwing that little two-seamer away. And
other super regionals going on, and out in Fullerton, California, Arizona State has defeated Cal State Fullerton 7-6. So that knots up that series at a game apiece. Fullerton won last night in game 1. They'll go to a deciding game 3. What do you think of this best of 3 in the super regional? It makes for some exciting baseball.
Yes, this is great. You know, they used to just have 1 regional, and you could have, you know, 4 or 5 or 6 teams in. But, you know, this 2 out of 3 elimination series is really neat. I think it, you know, really gives college baseball a boost. You know, college baseball has needed a boost. You know, they don't generate the funds that, you know, football does and basketball does. So I think this is going to help out a lot.
I think the increased television exposure, too, for the tournament. There goes the runner to third base. That is Jorgensen. And the throw down, and Jorgensen going back into second base is an out. Wayne Graham is the third base coach for the Owls, and he's not a happy third base coach right now.
You know, that call right there came probably from the dugout. I bet you know, Rayner probably has some instincts on the way Coach Graham coaches, and I bet you know, Zell was just going to, you know, make a little turn move just to see what he was doing, and he caught him sneaking off too far.
And we talked about no secrets between these two teams. But Noble knows Graham's tendencies. Graham knows Noble's tendencies. Of course, they coached together in the early 90s here at Rice. Locating the baseball is the catcher Bott. No movement by the runner at first base, Bubella.
What are the chances you're going to throw that changeup right here on the outer half?
3 balls, 2 strikes. Hanging in there at 3-2.
Well, he's just impressed with Zell. You know, he just keeps pitching. Doesn't seem like much bothers him. You know, he just keeps throwing to his target, and he's pitching a fine game. You know, he had first and second and nobody out, and you know, he kind of worked his way through it. He picked off 1 guy, and you know, he's just pitching very well.
You know, it's just huge getting the pickoff of Jorgensen, because if he can get the number 9 hitter Ruchte, he doesn't have to face Kolkhorst. However, the number 9 hitter comes through. Ruchte finds a hole on the left side, just beyond the reach of the shortstop Musselwhite, and Chris Kolkhorst, the leadoff hitter, will get a chance to hit with 2 men on and 2 out.
This ball is down over the middle of the plate. Puts the bat on the ball. Good 2-strike swing. Musselwhite just missed that ball.
So a couple of hits in the inning for the Owls. And now Chris Kolkhorst.
Now here's the guy that usually gets him going.
He has come through in the clutch time and time again for the Owls. And a strike, 0-1 from Danny Zell. Last year against Houston, Kolkhorst had a 3-run walk-off home run right here at Reckling Park. It was Rice's 4th straight win over the Cougars. He's had clutch hits, including last weekend, this year for the Owls. 1-1. The most outstanding player at the NCAA Regional here last weekend against Wichita State. So the Owls beat the Shockers 10-1 and 5-2 to advance to the Super Regional. And There you go. He's been hit by a pitch 21 times this season. I don't think he would have gotten that one.
I don't think he would have hit it. He kind of threw his elbow out there.
That's
but
right.
You kind of love a guy like that on your team. You know, a guy that's willing to take one for the team right there.
I'm pretty sure that home plate umpire Randy Bruns would not have awarded him first base on that one.
Maybe more like Craig Biggio.
David Eckstein with the Angels. He gets hit by a lot of pitches, but Colcourse cannot come through. Michael Bourne secures the third out of the fifth inning. A threat, but nothing more. We are through 5 innings, and Chris Colcourse and the Owls still can't break through against Danny Zell. Game 1 of this best-of-3 Super Regional in Houston, Texas. The Houston Cougars leading the Rice Owls 1-0. Bill Jones along with Pete Incaviglia. Terrific baseball here in Houston tonight. Great night for baseball. Great setting here at Reckling Park.
This is a beautiful place, isn't it? Packed house. Winner goes on to the College World Series. What could be better than this right here?
4th year that the Owls have played here at Reckling Park. They call it the Brick House. And the Brick House has been very kind to the Owls, especially this year. They are 33-3 at home this year. Michael Bourne, the top of the order for the Cougars here in the 6th. One ball and one strike. Bourne, Tully, and Cho for the Cougars in the 6th inning. Houston broke through for a run in the 2nd inning. The lone run of this game. Looking to bunt his way on. And not a chance for the third baseman, Stansberry. Losing his footing on the mound was Umber. He appears to be okay. And Bourne with great speed, much like Jorgensen, is on easily.
Well, you know, here's a guy who can really run too. You know, you just basically, guys like that who can run like that, you know, basically just got to get the ball down and get it away from the pitcher, and it's usually pretty much a hit. That was a, you know, Stansberry didn't have a chance there at third base when Umber fell off the mound.
Well, much like in the 1st inning when Bourne led off with an infield single. Travis Tully looking to bunt. Drags it to right side, and late coming over is Cruz, and safe at first base is Tully. Moving to third goes Bourne. Very unlike the Rice Owls.
We got a lot of small ball going on right here.
It will be scored as a sacrifice and an error.
Boy, that's a nice bunt right there. You know, worst case scenario, he's out. He moves the runner to second base. That's just a fine play.
Error charge to Cruz on the receiving end of the toss. The first baseman, Sinisi. And Tully wanted more than just a sacrifice, and as it turns out, with his speed, putting pressure on the Rice defense, he got more than just a sacrifice. He's credited with a sacrifice, but the error was a forced error of Tully getting down the line. He's got good speed.
Well, here's Cho in a big situation.
And he has come through in the clutch a lot. 64 RBIs for the Cougars on the year. Leads the team in RBIs and home runs and batting average. Hot foul on the right side.
Looks like they're trying to keep the ball away from Cho. You know, as I'm watching Umber work to him, it seems like everything they're throwing him, they're trying to keep the ball down and away from him. And you know, obviously, you know, he's the kind of guy that you know, could probably handle the ball middle in very well. And you know, he needs to get something. He needs to get a pitch that's up in the zone and stay away from that ground ball double play and swing at things that are down in the strike zone.
Fake toward third. We'll look back at first base.
Sometimes that you're trying to get that runner home from third base is kind of like a lost art. You know, Major League Baseball, first and third, everybody's thinking about a 3-run homer with nobody out and 1 out.
Right back up the middle, and Hung Cho comes through. He gets that man home from third. Michael Bourne scores the second run of the game, and Cho has RBI number 65 on the season. 2-0 Cougars.
You know, that's a breaking ball he left just up and right over the middle of the plate. I mean, those are the kind of pitches that get hit a lot. You know, you can't, when you throw a breaking ball, you can't leave it about chest high in the middle of the plate.
And Hung Cho makes him pay for it. But Umber shouldn't feel like the Lone Ranger in that regard, because Hung Cho has made a lot of pitchers pay for it this season.
You know, Umber hasn't pitched that bad a game. You know, he's actually done it. You know, he's thrown up 5 innings for him, and you know, he's kept him to 2 runs, and you know, he's probably done a fine job. You know, Rice has got a lot of arms in that arsenal over there, and I think we're getting ready to see a whole lot of them.
Well, Wade Townsend has been throwing. Wayne Graham meeting with his entire infield, and also David Ardsma. The closer, Ardsma, who was a first-round draft pick, number 22 overall selection by the San Francisco Giants. And you know Wade Townsend, when he becomes draft eligible, will be a very high draft pick. The first and second are the runners for the Cougars, with nobody out here in the 6th inning. And the cleanup man, Cole Bruce, at the plate.
And here's another guy who's been hot for him. You know, right here in this situation, Bruce needs to make sure that that runner at second base gets to third base. He needs to try and get a pitch that's up and out over the plate and try and drive that ball to right center field, or hit a fly ball to center field. He needs to refrain from, you know, pulling the ball in any way where they get into the double play.
Well, you see this Houston lineup as you look at the super regional scores from elsewhere. Southwest Missouri State has moved ahead of Ohio State, but being playing on the Buckeyes' home field in Columbus, Ohio, 1-0. Winner of this series will go on to play the winner of the Southwest Missouri-Ohio State series, Cole Bruce. This one's hit deep to left field, way back, and it is gone. A 3-run homer for Cole Bruce, who remains red hot, and the Cougars lead it 5-0. It's the 3rd home run of the postseason for Cole Bruce.
Boy, it's just a fastball in the outer half of the plate, and you know, he takes a real good swing at that. Puts head down, you know, got his hands through. Watch his hands get through the ball and dropped the head of the bat on there. That's a pretty swing right there. Well, fly ball or home run, I guess that gets the job done right there. 3-run homers win a lot of games. At least that's what Jim Fregosi used to tell me.
What's interesting, Cole Bruce, as Umber was about to make the first delivery, had squared around to bunt. They decide, forget the bunt, let's go deep. And Cole Bruce does just that, just like he did last weekend in College Station when he hit 2 home runs. Well, nobody out here in the 6th inning, and the Cougars have 4 runs across. It is a happy Cougar dugout. And it's 2-1 to Brad Sullivan.
I'm a little surprised that Umber was left in that situation with Townsend, and I mean, I don't think you bring in Ardsma, you know, this early in the game, but you know, as good as those arms are over there, I'm kind of surprised he's still in there.
Chopper to third base, and making the play is Stansberry to get Sullivan for the first out. You would think it probably crossed the mind of Wayne Graham. And in fact, when he first went out to the mound, I thought that he was going to make a move to the bullpen. Townsend was ready and warm.
I was thinking the same thing. It kind of surprised me he left Umber in there, but you know, Umber, like I was saying, hasn't done a bad job. You know, he's actually, up until the 3-run homer, had been pitching pretty well.
I mean, look at this inning. It was a bunt single by Bourne, and then it was a sacrifice attempt as this one's hit down the line in right off the bat of Farrington foul. That put him in a jam with runners at the corners, and then Cho came through with a base hit up the middle. The best hitter for the Cougars got a base hit up the middle. So you're right, Umber had some bad luck to go along with it that got him into that jam.
Small ball got him in trouble. A couple of bunts, and you know, you got your 2 best hitters coming up. You got Cho and Bruce has you know, been the hottest hitter. I mean, good things happen when people are on base.
Ball and 2 strikes now to Farrington. Stephen Hurst is now up with the score now 5-0. Hurst was a draft pick of the Rangers last year, and this year went in the 17th round. He's come off an injury, and there's a strikeout for Umber as he battles back. Third time he's gotten Farrington on strikes. Take a look at strike 3. So 2 down, and that'll bring up Gabe Lucas. Umber from Carthage, Texas. And you know the claim to fame for Carthage, Texas, Pete?
I don't know, but you're going to tell me.
The Texas Country Music Hall of Fame is in Carthage, Texas. And yes, Umber says he has been there before. Making the play is the shortstop Yanish. But the Cougars take a big lead, and Cole Bruce, the man of the hour for the Cougars. Reckling Park on the campus of Rice University. The Owls don't like this. 5-0. Their crosstown rivals, the Houston Cougars, lead it. This is game 1 of a best-of-3 series, and game 2 is tomorrow afternoon on ESPN2 right here at Reckling Park. Check your local listings. Rice and Houston game 2, and will be a great pitching matchup tomorrow as unbeaten Jeff Neiman gets the start for the Owls. He's 15-0 on the season, and Brad Sullivan will get the start for Houston. Sullivan has been the ace of the Cougar staff not only this year but last year as well. A first-round draft pick. He's playing first base tonight, but he'll be on the mound tomorrow afternoon. He's hoping that he'll be going for the Super Regional Series clincher tomorrow, but there's still plenty of baseball to be played tonight.
Well, Rice needs some base runners right now. They need to be taking pitch and trying to get some base runners and getting something started, anything.
They got the right guys coming up this inning, 2, 3, and 4 hitters, and unable to come up with a baseball is Gabe Lucas in left field. Valiant effort, but Yanish is aboard for the first time tonight.
What a great effort right there. Selling out right there, trying to make that diving stab right there. Well, you know, this is a tough play because you got a little bit of that sun there. That's a great effort right there by that young man. He just came within inches of making a great play.
Second straight inning that the Owls have the leadoff man on. First 4 innings, Danny Zell was able to get the first 2 batters every inning. Number 3 hitter is Vincent Sinisi. Works him inside, ball 1. Sinisi singled in the first, caught looking in the 4th.
You know, the Owls need to get something. You need to get a crooked number up around the board and get that momentum change. You know, when momentum starts building, you know, Houston's got all kind of momentum right now. You know, the worst thing that could happen right here is they'll go out there and put up a 0, and you know, it just kind of kills any kind of momentum Rice can build up. So, you know, Rice needs to put some crooked numbers up right here and try and change the momentum of this game.
1-1 pitch to Sinisi. This is upstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike. Like, just have to, from a Rice perspective, try to match or come close to matching what the Cougars did in the top half of the inning, but you just can't get it in one swing. You can get it if things like that start happening. Cole Bruce unable to handle it, and now the Owls will try to take advantage of a Cougar error.
You know, this is a play right here. Was that it seemed like he took a back step. You know, as an infielder, you want to make sure that you're aggressive and you're charging the ball. He kind of got on his heels right there, and the ball just kind of ate him up. Well, here we go. We got base runners. This is exactly what I was talking about.
Exactly right. And it's a lot like what happened in the top half of the inning. Is the Cougars had a bunt single and then an error charge to the second baseman, and this time it was a single and now an error by the second baseman for the Cougars.
Well, they got to try and just kind of scratch and fight their way back. They don't need to go out and score 5 runs in this inning, but they need to score a couple runs and stay within you know, striking distance. And you know, I'm kind of curious right here. You know, like Stansbury needs to, instead of thinking about hitting a 3-run homer right here, he needs to think about hitting the ball hard, you know, up the middle and in the gaps and keep this thing going right here. Excuse me, I mean Enrique Cruz.
Enrique Cruz is the cleanup hitter for the Owls. 2 on and nobody out. Strike 1. Cruz walked in the first. He had a liner to second base his second time up.
You know, here's one of the core guys. I mean, if something's going to happen on this ball club, he's the guy that's going to get it started right here.
49 RBIs on the season for Cruz. And it's 1-1. The runner at second base is Paul Janisch. He had the leadoff single, and Vincent Sinisi gets on the error charge to Cole Bruce. Sharply hit and pass muscle right into center field. Janisch around third will score, and Enrique Cruz comes through. The Owls are on the board. Well, that's a start for Rice. 50th RBI for Enrique Cruz.
There's a pitch on the outer half of the plate. It's a good short swing. Keeps his head down and just tries to drive the ball back through the middle. Here we go. The momentum changing a little bit, bringing the fans into this deal a little bit, and I think we got ourselves a ball game right here.
First and second, in front of a crowd of better than 4,000 at Reckling Park. Nobody out here in the 6th inning. Top half of the inning, the first 4 men reached for Houston, and all scored on a 3-run homer. Now Rice tries to at least match him, and here's Craig Stansberry, the third baseman.
All right, I'll say it again. Stansberry doesn't need to hit the 3-run homer right here.
Just some foreshadowing earlier. It's a foul ball, 0-2. Stansberry, one of the few players on either team who did not grow up in the Houston area. He's from Plano, up in the Dallas area. Went to North Central Junior College in Gainesville, Texas. Kevin Roberts throws in the Houston bullpen. It's not quite Ryan Wagner time yet, but I believe if it were the 7th inning, Wagner might be the one loosening. Stansberry, and no balls and 2 strikes. Wagner has the potential to pitch as much as 5 innings, the closer for the Cougars, but what Rayner Noble was telling us yesterday, in the first game of the series, the earliest you'd probably see him would be the 7th inning. You don't want to use him up too early in a series.
In a possible 3-game series, I don't think you want to bring him in and burn him up in 3 or 4 innings early. I mean, if you want to bring him in, I don't think you'll see him before the 8th inning. Yeah, I think at the earliest, because there's just too many games, and you just don't want him to get rattle off too many innings early in the series.
Noble would like to have him available all 3 games of the series if it comes to that. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Stansberry. Mentioned Stansberry went to North Central Junior College in Gainesville. He was coached by Danny Darwin's brother, Kevin Darwin.
No kidding. Big double D.
Of course, Danny Darwin, former Ranger and former Houston Astro. And a base hit for Stansberry. Holding at third base is Sinisi, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. Three singles and an error have loaded it up for the Owls.
You know, being a third baseman, it's a step left and a step right, and it's a reaction. It's a tough position to play, and that ball was hit pretty hard in the corner, and Cho made an effort for that. But when the ball's, when you're playing third base, everything's coming at you hard, just like you're a goalie, and your reaction is all you have. And Cho just missed that one.
And it's a dangerous hitter who will be coming up. Vincent Sinisi's at third base, and the runner at second is Enrique Cruz. He had an RBI single, and now Stansberry follows with a single. The base is loaded and nobody out for this guy. Austin Davis, left-handed hitting designated hitter. He walked his last time up. He also popped to short. But against Houston this season, he's hitting over 400. 8 for 19, a .421 hitter against the Cougars this year. And a strike going on.
You know, once again, you know, this is a situation here that you do not want to, you do not want to swing at anything that you're going to hit on the ground, and you know, he's trying to look for something in where he can pull the ball and get that runner in from third base.
Now ball to second, trying to turn two, but there's no throw over to first base. So a run home for the Owls to make it a 5-2 game. The road to Omaha takes you through Houston, Texas. Bill Jones along with Pete Incaviglia as the Rice Owls trying to play comeback against Danny Zell and the Houston Cougars. A 4-run top half of the 6th inning for Houston made it 5-0, but the Owls are answering with 2 runs across and threatening for more.
You know, usually after a big inning as a ball club, you want to go out there and put a 0 up and kill that momentum, like I was saying, and you know, with Rice coming back and scoring a couple runs, you know, it gives them a little momentum. So, you know, this game's not over by any means. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens right here. This game may just be starting. Yeah, Jeff Blackington is the pinch hitter for Jeff Jorgensen. Blackington is the backup catcher, and he hits here for Jorgensen with runners at the corners and 1 out. And Jorgensen had an infield single his last time up against Danny Zell. Wayne Graham, the coach of the Rice Owls, in his 12th year here at Rice, trying to go back to the College World Series for the 2nd straight season. And a first pitch strike to Blackington. Wayne Graham for Rice. Of course, Rainer Noble, the coach of the Houston Cougars. 3rd time the last 4 years that Houston has played in a super regional. Took Texas, the eventual national champions, to a game 3 in the super regional last year in Austin. Got to get that run home from third base right here. Got to get that run home any way you can. 1 out, man at third base. You got to get him home somehow, somewhere. And at third, Enrique Cruz, the younger brother of Jose Cruz, and son of Jose Cruz Sr., the Houston Astro coach. And Enrique, getting up near 350 on the season, had an RBI single in this 6th inning. And over at first base, Austin Davis. Danny Zell in his 6th inning of work. And strike 3 called. Big 2nd out for Danny Zell and the Cougars. Take a look at strike 3 from Zell. Boy, that's a good pitch right there. You know, I'm impressed with this kid. He just keeps pumping the ball in there, keeps trying to hit the catcher's mitts. Doesn't seem to disturb him much. Nothing rattles him very much. And I love that hat on him. The bill of the cap fits what he describes himself as, a quirky left-hander. He had 15 scoreless innings against the Owls until this inning. In his career against Rice, he had 15 shutout innings, and finally Rice breaks through for a couple of runs against him here. Of course, these two teams very familiar with each other, as Dane Bubella is the hitter against Danny Zell. Rice won 4 of the 5 meetings during the season, but the Cougars with the advantage when it really counts, game 1 of the Super Regional. Dane Bubella, 22nd round pick of the Texas Rangers on Tuesday in the amateur draft. 2 out hits win a lot of ball games right here. There's a strike. Pretty good breaking ball right there. Seems like he's not afraid to throw anything at any time. You know, he'll throw his breaking ball at any time. He'll throw that little 2-seamer away, and he'll throw his changeup. Danny Zell, 5th round pick of the Detroit Tigers. Ball and a strike. So you Tiger fans may be seeing part of your future. He's been impressive so far tonight. Pop foul out of play. A ball and 2 strikes. Now Danny Zell is a strike away of getting out of this troublesome 6th inning. And the Rice Owls, 51 wins on the season. Earlier this year,
They had a 30-game win streak. Dane Bubella, the hitter, has been a hot hitter late in the season. Just gets a piece of that one.
That's another good pitch right there. Just a little breaking ball just off the plate away. You know, this kid seems to hit his spots very well, and he just keeps pitching. He'll throw his fastball, and, you know, it hits his spots. You know, location is everything as a pitcher, you know. You don't have to throw 95 miles an hour. If you can change speeds and locate your pitches, you can be just as effective as somebody throwing the ball 95 miles an hour.
With 2 outs, the 1-2 pitch. Popped up on the left side. Foul territory. Nick Buck, the catcher, has it. And Danny Zell gets out of the 6th inning. But Rice pushes across a couple of runs. It's a 3-run game. The Cougars with the advantage over the Owls. Danny Zell got out of trouble in the 6th inning. A big 4 spot for the Cougars in the top half of the inning. Rice counters with a couple in the bottom half. Danny Zell and the Cougars lead it. Take you back earlier in the game. It was a wild pitch that plated the first run of the game as Cole Bruce scored from third base. Then in that 6th inning, it was Hung Cho with a base hit up the middle, scoring Michael Bourne. And then Cole Bruce, the cleanup hitter, with his 3rd home run of the postseason. A huge 3-run shot for Houston. And the Cougars come through in a big way in the top half of the inning, only to see Rice counter with 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th. Enrique Cruz plates one with an RBI single. And Cole Bruce and the Cougars lead at 5-2 as we go to the 7th inning. New center fielder for the Owls, as Jeff Jorgensen was pinch hit for. Austin Davis, who was the designated hitter, now becomes the center fielder. So the Owls lose the DH, and Philip Umber, the pitcher, is now inserted into the lineup in the number 7 hole. As the road to Omaha comes through Houston this weekend. Game 1 of a best-of-3 series, and we've got a good one going. Bill Jones along with Pete Incaviglia as the Rice Owls, playing on their home field, found themselves in a 5-run hole, only to come back with a couple of runs in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, I tell you, Houston's played a great game. You know, they're getting into counts, and they're seeing a lot of pitches, and they're, you know, bunting the ball. They're creating a lot of things, you know, and you know, the big home run by Davis is, you know, they're playing very, very well.
The thing that's very intriguing about these two teams as well is the high draft picks that they have in both of their bullpens. Ohio State leads Southwest Missouri State now 2-1, as Southwest Missouri took the early lead, but the Buckeyes have now gotten back on the board with a 2-1 lead. Winner of this series will play the winner of that one in the first round in Omaha. Stuart Musselwhite, number 8 hitter in the lineup for Rayner Noble's Houston Cougars, leading it off here in the 7th inning. Puts a charge into this one to center field, and Austin Davis, first batter after he got put in the lineup in center field, gets to work quickly.
Rule of thumb, the ball will always find you. If you just enter the game, no matter where you go, it'll always find you.
I mentioned the...
Always used to find me all the time.
But one thing about you, Pete Incaviglia, is you were hustling everywhere you went on the field.
Yeah, well, I figured that one day I wasn't going to be able to play the game anymore, and at least I can look myself in there and know I played every game as hard as I could.
The ball would find you, and sometimes the wall would find you.
Yeah, exactly. I hit a few pads on walls every once in a while.
Any particular major league outfield walls that were less kind than others?
Wrigley, it's brick.
They got their own brick house at Wrigley Field. Rice calls this the brick house, but fortunately there's not a brick outfield wall here.
You know, Fenway was kind of rough. You'd always get scarred up at Fenway because they had all those protruding things out of the scoreboard.
Got a lot of splinters in that wall. To center field, and the ball finds Austin Davis again.
Well,
Two down. Like a magnet in center field, Austin Davis. To the top of the order in Michael Bourne. Philip Umber settles down after giving up 4 runs in the 6th inning. He's retired 5 straight.
2 well-hit balls right there. I'm still surprised that Umber's still in this game. I don't know how you feel about that, but you know, after having a long inning 4 and a couple well-hit balls right here, I'm thinking that they might make a move to that bullpen. But Coach Graham's sticking with them.
number, 6'4", 210 pounds, out of high school, Carthage, Texas. He was a draft pick of the Yankees. He's going to be a very high draft pick when he becomes draft eligible. With the 2 seasons he's had here at Rice, he was a freshman All-American last year, went 11-1. He's looking for his 11th win this year, 10-2 coming into tonight's play. 2 balls and 1 strike. I alluded to what both of these teams have in the bullpen. A couple of first-round draft picks. As we get to the late innings, keep in mind that Houston has Ryan Wagner, who's a first-round pick, and David Archma is in the Rice bullpen, also a first-round pick. But Umber does not need help in the 7th inning. It's stretch time here in Houston. The Owls need some runs against their crosstown rivals. The Houston Cougars lead the Rice Owls 5-2 as the Owls come to bat here in the bottom of the 7th inning at Reckling Park on the campus of Rice University. Big crowd on hand. Yes, the Owls were Southwest Conference champions back in the mid-90s. And, of course, these 2 schools once upon a time were Southwest Conference rivals. Now Rice has moved on to the Western Athletic Conference. Houston a member of Conference USA. And since the University of Houston campus is only 4 miles away, yes, as you can imagine, there are some Cougar faithful in attendance as well. They found some tickets. Justin Ruckte leads it off for Rice here in the 7th. Swings at the first pitch right at the shortstop, Stuart Musselwhite. On to Brad Sullivan at first base. And there is 1 pitch and 1 out here in the 7th inning. On the top of the order, Chris Kolkhorst will come up to face Danny Zell, now into his 7th inning of work.
Pitching a fine ball game.
Zell had 5 shutout innings, had a 5-0 lead going to the bottom of the 6th when the Owls touched him for a couple of runs, one of them unearned. Now Kolkhorst, who's the catalyst for this Owls team, but 0 for 3 tonight. And Kolkhorst had an opportunity his last time up in the 5th inning. 2 men on base. Hit a fly ball to center field. Danny Zell, 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, you don't want to get in this situation where you give somebody a free pass. You want to make sure they earn it. Walks will come back to kill you in these kind of situations.
But once again, he misses. 3-0.
It's hot out there. He could fairly, be tired. I mean, it's 90 some odd degrees out there, and he's worked 6 innings, and it gets tough out there when it's so hot like this.
The 3-0 pitch to Kolkhorst. He misses away, and it's a 4-pitch walk with 1 out here in the 7th inning. Kevin Roberts has been warming in the Houston bullpen. He is ready, called upon. Get to the meat of the order for the Owls real quickly. Paul Janisch is the number 2 hitter, hitting over 300 on the season. And got the Owls going to start the 6th inning. There is Ryan Wagner. And Ryan Wagner is starting to get loosened in the bullpen. And to the mound, Rainer Noble. Ryan Wagner, 1st-round draft pick of the Cincinnati Reds, the number 14 overall selection in the amateur draft on Tuesday. And he has some filthy stuff. Wagner's strikeouts to innings pitched is unheard of.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, the kid is just unbelievable. The numbers, it's kind of like Nintendo numbers, When your kid plays Nintendo, he strikes everybody out. So I think it's going to be tough for Noble to keep him out of the game. And having a quick hook here and bringing him in the game to try and seal this deal out. They still got 2 more games. There's possible 2 more games going on.
Wagner with more than 16 strikeouts for every 9 innings pitched this season. 138 strikeouts in 74 innings. Has a chance to break the 39-year-old NCAA record. Opposite way, right field, dancing under it, and making the play is Matt Farrington for the 2nd out. Well, that was Very nice trip to the mound for Rayner Noble. He got his message across that Zell got the out.
Yeah, you know, as a manager, you don't want walks late in the game when you got a lead will come back to bite you. So I'm sure he went out there and said, look, you need to keep throwing strikes. You need to keep the ball down and, keep the walks down to a minimum, because I'm sure he's got guys in the bullpen that he's got ready they're going to bring in. So I'm sure he said, if you walk somebody else, you're on your way out and somebody else coming in.
Now the lefty Zell facing the left-handed hitting Vincent Sinisi. Throw over and back in at first base is Kolkhorst. Sinisi, a dangerous hitter in the middle of the lineup for the Owls. He singled in the first. He reached on an error his last time up against Zell in the 6th inning. There's an error by the second baseman. Just misses inside, 1-0. Sinisi against the Cougars this year, hitting up around 350 with a double and a homer. 8 homers on the season, 54 runs batted in. Just the man at the plate that Danny Zell probably does not want to face, and the Owls one up in a clutch situation.
Yeah, Sinisi and Cruz coming up are two guys that I'm sure Zell doesn't want to face with the tying run at home plate.
You'd think that in all likelihood this could be it for Zell if he's able to get out of this 7th inning, and then Rayner Noble might turn it over the last couple of innings to Ryan Wagner.
I think that's a viable possibility. I mean, you're getting seven. If you get 7 innings out of your starter, you can't ask much more of that and hold the opponent to 2 runs. And you got your big horse warming up in the bullpen. I'm thinking he's going to go to his horse right here. He's not going to take any chances.
Danny Zell went 7 1/3 innings in his last start against Oral Roberts. What was the start of the current 4-game win streak for the Cougars? Bounced right at the first baseman, Brad Sullivan, and Vincent Sinisi is retired for the 3rd out of the 7th inning. We are through 7. Cole Bruce will hit 3rd when the Cougars bat in the 8th inning. The sun sets here in Houston. The Houston Cougars and the Rice Owls. Game 1 of a Super Regional Series that's best of 3, and Game 2 is tomorrow afternoon. You can catch more Super Regional action on the road to Omaha. These two teams square off again, 2 o'clock on ESPN2, Texas time, 3 o'clock Eastern time. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Travis Tully leads it off against Philip Umber into his 8th inning of work. Umber is at 94 pitches right now. 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Houston here in the 8th. Tully with a couple of sacrifice bunts in tonight's game. The Cougars have played some small ball and done some damage with it.
Yes, they have.
Tully has been one who's put some pressure on the nation's number 2 ranked defense as Rice committed an error. Just the 47th of the season in that 4-run 6th inning, and now Tully is aboard again. He slaps the base hit back through the middle, and the leadoff man is on. Fifth time in 8 innings that Umber has allowed the leadoff man to reach, and Wayne Graham has probably seen enough. With Hung Cho coming to the plate. Philip Umber out of Carthage, Texas. Grew up a Texas Ranger fan. Says his favorite player was Kevin Brown. Of course, Kevin Brown, the former Ranger, before going on to the Marlins, and now having a great year with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and a former teammate of one Pete Incaviglia.
Yes, he was.
So the Owls go to the bullpen. We'll see one of those hot pitching prospects for Rice when we come back in a moment. 5-2, Houston leads Rice. Out of the game is Philip Umber, the starter, All-American pitcher for the Rice Owls. who will not get his 11th win of the season. 7+ innings. His line right now stands at 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, a walk and 6 strikeouts. His property of the man at first base, Travis Tully, who led off with a single. And it's the closer, a first-round draft pick, on to pitch for the Owls, David Aardsma.
Boy, that's some gaudy numbers right there. You know, 10 saves, 3.3 ERA, 45 hits in 50 innings. He possesses a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and you know, that's the reason why he went so high in the draft.
David Aardsma was the 22nd overall pick of the San Francisco Giants, out of Denver, Colorado, Cherry Creek High School. Well, you look at all of these top Rice pitchers, and they're all about like this: 6'5", 200, 6'4", 215, something like that. And the guy we see tomorrow, Jeff Neiman, is listed at 6'9", 260.
My God, 6'9", 260. Another Randy Johnson on the way. It just seemed like they get bigger and stronger and faster every year, don't they?
Well, so far tonight, though, the Houston Cougars have been able to match the Rice Owls and then some. They lead it by 3 runs, and this guy is a principal reason why Hung Cho, with a couple of hits tonight, 2 for 3, hitting over 360 on the season now. Triple Crown numbers as far as the Cougar team goes. Leads the club in all 3 categories and become the 10th player in Houston history to do that, and he just keeps on hitting. 3rd straight hit for Cho. Rounding second, headed to third is Tully. The throw is in time.
What a play.
Dane Bubella with the throw from right field. And Pete, you were looking at these Rice outfielders throw before the game, and Bubella, you saw that arm in action.
Well, he comes around, charges the ball real well. It gets a shoulder around, looks at third base, and makes just a fine throw. That's a beautiful throw right there. And I like the Houston. I like the aggressiveness. You know, they're up 5-2, and they figure they're going to press and make, you know, Rice make a play in order to stop them.
It's worked earlier in the game. This time, Tully is cut down at third base. Now the cleanup hitter, Cole Bruce, who had the big hit in this game, a 3-run homer. That's the difference as Houston leads by 3. And Aardsma, strike 1. This was in the 6th inning. On the previous pitch, Cole Bruce had squared around as if to bunt, swinging away, and did he ever?
3-run homers win a lot of games.
It was his 8th home run of the season. A swing and a miss. He was looking for his 4th home run of the postseason. Now Aardsma is ahead, no balls and 2 strikes against Bruce. Aardsma started his collegiate career at Penn State. Lettered as a true freshman there, then transferred to Rice. And on 3 pitches, he gets Cole Bruce this time for the 2nd out.
Well, that was a hard slider right there. That's a good slider right there. Oh, actually, that was a fastball. I thought it was a slider from up here, but I looked at the monitor. That was a fastball with a little cheese on there.
He can bring it.
Yeah, he can.
He does have a good slider and that mid-90s fastball. Now he'll face Brad Sullivan, a matchup of 2 first-round draft picks, both selected by Bay Area teams. Brad Sullivan by Oakland and David Aardsma by San Francisco on a swing and a miss.
Well, I guess Brad's going to get to feel like what he's facing himself.
That's right. The Rice Owls will have to face Brad Sullivan, the pitcher, tomorrow. He is the Game 2 starter. And if this holds, Rainer Noble deciding to go with Danny Zell in Game 1. Now he's got his ace, Brad Sullivan, to throw in Game 2.
And if things hold out the way they are, it's a pretty brilliant move.
Rainer Noble has to love what he's seen so far tonight. But Rice still with a couple more chances. Off the fist foul. And Aardsma gets ahead. No balls and 2 strikes on Sullivan.
Game's not over till the last out in the 9th. I've seen some funny things in 2 outs in the 9th before.
Whether it's in the big leagues and especially so in college baseball, it seems like.
Yeah, it's never over till that last out.
Saw it this afternoon in Miami. The Hurricanes against North Carolina State. NC State got out to a big lead, and Miami came back to tie. And then in the bottom of the 9th inning, A walk-off home run by Ryan Braun. What a player he is. And that was a great way to kick off this Super Regional weekend. Some great action all around the country, including right here. In case you missed it earlier, Texas and Florida State washed out tonight in Tallahassee. They'll play game 1 tomorrow afternoon. 5 o'clock start time in Tallahassee. That series will start on Sunday.
That's not fair right there.
Aartsma with consecutive strikeouts of the number 4 and 5 hitters in the lineup for Houston to end the 8th inning, close the door on the Cougar threat. Now, will Houston go to its bullpen to start the 8th? The College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska will be the destination of one of these two teams. Houston and Rice, two schools located 4 miles apart. Yes, Rice has been there to Omaha in 1997, 1999, 2002. It's been since 1967 since the Houston Cougars have made it to Omaha. Rainer Noble was a member of this Houston Cougar team as a player back in the early 1980s. He didn't get to enjoy it as a player, but maybe as a coach. Leading off the 8th inning against Danny Zell, Enrique Cruz has a base hit.
Another good swing, another short, head right on the ball. Just a good short swing.
The second largest crowd of the season for the Rice Owls. The road to Omaha here at Reckling Park on the campus of Rice University. Bill Jones along with Pete Incaviglia. Danny Zell on the mound for Houston into his 8th inning of work. Gives up a leadoff single to Enrique Cruz. And that brings Houston coach Rainer Noble out of the Cougar dugout. Perhaps he'll make a move to the bullpen. And young Mr. Ryan Wagner, the first-round draft pick of the Cincinnati Reds.
I don't think there's going to be any doubt that the horse is coming in right here. Zell's giving him good 7 1/3 innings, and I think he's probably pretty happy with that. But you never know. I mean, Zell's pitched a good game. You know, he seemed to, he's did some people on base and seemed to pitch out of it a couple of times. It'll be kind of interesting to see what he's going to do here.
Danny Zell scheduled to face Craig Stansberry. 7+ innings, just 1 earned run, 7 hits, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts for Zell tonight. Zell, the 5th-round draft pick of the Detroit Tigers. And Rainer Noble has decided he'll take out the 5th-rounder and put in a 1st-rounder. Ryan Wagner. Wagner, averaging more than 16 strikeouts per 9 innings, will be on the pitch when we come back. Well, Danny Zell goes 7+ innings for the Houston Cougars. He does his job. He leaves with a lead, a 3-run lead at that. 5-2, Houston trying to upend the Rice Owls. The Rice Owls, number 1 in the country much of the season, the 5th-seeded team coming into this NCAA tournament, and Zell does a number on them tonight. Here at Reckling Park on the campus of Rice, Ryan Wagner faces the Owls now, making his 37th appearance of the season, and some awesome numbers from Ryan Wagner, Pete Incaviglia.
My God, 74 innings and 138 strikeouts. Do you need to say anything more than that with 20 walks? Huh? You think there's a reason why he was a 1st-rounder? My God.
37 hits in 74 1/3 innings. He has set the Cougar record for saves in a season with 14 saves. And some gaudy numbers, to say the least, for this native of Yoakum, Texas. 6'4", 210 pounds. And you look at the Houston players that were picked in the Major League Baseball first-year player draft. Wagner was the first Cougar to go, 14th overall to Cincinnati. Brad Sullivan also went in the 1st round. He will be the Game 2 starter tomorrow afternoon. He went to the A's, 25th overall. In fact, 3 other players go in the top 7 rounds, including tonight's starter Danny Zell, who went in the 5th round to Detroit. And Brian Henderson, another pitcher, went in the 7th round to Tampa Bay. This is a pitching staff, and we haven't even started talking about Rice's pitching staff.
It's amazing. There's a plethora of pitching around here. I mean, my God. Major League Baseball is licking their chops with all the arms around here.
Still has a job to do here. The big leagues can wait. Ryan Wagner's trying to pitch his team a step closer to Omaha. Facing Craig Stansberry.
Not a bad idea, trying to surprise with a bunt and try and get a base runner on. And hit a 3-run homer right here and tie this deal up.
Got the call on the outside corner. The Rice faithful did not agree with home plate umpire Randy Bruns, but he's been consistent all night with his strike zone. Wagner's ahead 0-2.
Well, you know, he's been consistent. You know, he's been out there. He's been calling them from both sides like that. So yeah, I don't think there can be much complaint from either side. I mean, sometimes you get an umpire who's got a wide zone, and both teams got to deal with it, and that's fair play there.
Ryan Wagner on the mound for Houston, and the Cougars have made a replacement at catcher. Nick Bott out of the game, and Brett Logan is the catcher now for the Cougars. And this has been the design by Rainer Noble throughout the season to have Logan catch Wagner. He's a better defensive catcher, and there's strike 3, and that's one reason why right there, because of the filthy stuff that Ryan Wagner has. He has a propensity to throw some wild pitches, and Logan came through big time right there.
You know, watch him get his knees down and get over and block this ball. You know, keep his body in front of it. Those are the things you got to do as a catcher. Is you got to be a catcher first and a hitter second, and you know, that was a nice play there.
The Houston catchers have a total of 35 passed balls on the season. Austin Davis, the hitter now. Bounce to the right side. To second for 1. That's the only play they'll be able to make as Bruce to Musselwhite for the force on Cruz coming down for the second out. Ryan Wagner talks about his grips.
I use a split finger fastball, 2-seam fastball, and the slider. If I need an out pitch or a clutch strikeout, I will use the slider to try to defeat the Rice Owls.
He tries to save this one for Danny Zell, does Ryan Wagner. That slider tough.
Yeah,
Wagner.
It's a good slider, but you know what? He's got that 94, 95 mile an hour fastball too. I mean, I imagine that he goes to that quite often too.
It's interesting the way he sets up hitters. A lot of times he'll use his slider early in the count and finish him off with a fastball, and sometimes he'll vary it.
Every now and then you get a pitcher that'll pitch backwards. So
Lance Pendleton, freshman, will pinch hit here out of Kingwood, Texas. Another one of those from the Houston area. Both squads full of Houston area players. And Lance Pendleton is a real fine prospect, both as a hitter and as a pitcher for Rice. Put him into a situation here where he's trying to come through in the clutch.
it's a tough position to be in, you know, facing might be the best closer in all of college baseball right now.
A foul tip, 0-1. The Owls down by 3, have a man at first base and 2 outs. And Pendleton calls time at the plate. The Owls won 4 of the 5 meetings between these teams during the season. This is where it really counts. A swing and a miss. Wagner's ahead, no balls and 2 strikes.
Boy, that's a nasty pitch right there. The bottom falls out of that thing.
Wagner, in his career against the Owls, now has 16 strikeouts in 9 2/3 innings. That's what he does against everybody. And there's another strikeout for Ryan Wagner. The throw down to first base to complete it. Ryan Wagner strikes out 2 of the 3 hitters he faces. He's got another inning to go, though. Houston leads Rice 5-2 here at Reckling Park. Houston trying to hold on against the Rice Owls in game 1 of a best-of-3 Super Regional Series on a great night for baseball. Stephen Hurst is the new pitcher for the Rice Owls. Hurst making his 9th appearance of the season. He's also He's made 4 starts. And as the season began, Pete, Hurst was supposed to be the ace of this staff, but a sore shoulder put him on the shelf, and he's working himself back into the groove later in the season.
Yeah, he is. You know, when you're coming off an injury like that, he hasn't pitched much, it doesn't look like, and I bet you he's just happy to be out there and be competing.
Well, one thing about Stephen Hurst earlier this week, he was just happy to be drafted in the first-year player draft. Stephen Hurst was a 17th round pick of Pittsburgh last year. He was a 9th round pick of the Texas Rangers. Faces Matt Farrington. Did not sign with the Rangers. Came back for another season with the Owls. And then had a sore right shoulder to start the season. 2-0 to Matt Farrington in Columbus, Ohio. Southwest Missouri State putting it on the Buckeyes. It's still early in that one in the 5th inning, but an 8-3 lead for Southwest Missouri. There's a strike, 2-1. Then the winner of Houston Rice will play Southwest Missouri Ohio State winner, College World Series in Omaha. Different format at the College World Series this year. There are 8 teams will go. They'll have 2 4-team brackets.
That's interesting, isn't it?
And then what a lot of people really like about it this year is the winners of those 2 4-team brackets will then meet in a best-of-3 championship series. So it won't be just one game to determine the national champion. It'll be a best-of-3 after the 4-team bracket winners are determined. Farrington at the leadoff single. Cougars trying to add to their lead here. Gabe Lucas will hit. Yeah, in the past at the College World Series, you could breeze through to the championship game without a loss and then get beat by a team that has been beaten before. And if you're that team that only has the 1 loss, it just doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair, does it? I figure that a team that has 2 losses or a team that has 1 loss, it just, it wasn't set up right. I'm glad to see that the NCAA has kind of changed the format into what it is and has kind of made it more exciting, and TV's involved now, and it just seems like it's a great thing. College baseball is very exciting, and it just needed to be promoted in the right way, and I think that's what's going on now.
Wayne Graham, what's going on now is Graham, the conversation with the home plate umpire Randy Bruns, who pointed down to first base. This question, the appeal maybe to first base. The first base umpire Mike Conlon. We speculate that may have been what Graham was talking about, whether the batter went around or not. And Conlon apparently said he did not go around, so it's a ball and no strikes. There goes the runner at first base. It's a strike at the plate. The throw down is in plenty of time to get Matt Farrington. Justin Rutte. It's very difficult to run against this catcher.
Well,
so there's the first out.
We got, I'm thinking it's catcher's interference.
Oh.
Is what I'm thinking. That's a guess.
Throw down to second base was in time. And now the umpires will confer here as the runner is placed at first base. Now the runner is not at first base. He is thrown out at second base. Perhaps batter's interference.
Yeah, I think his bat right there hits the catcher's glove. Yeah,
okay, so
that's catcher's interference. He's out and the runner's out. That's the way that thing goes.
Well, the runner is out.
Yes, it's batter's interference.
So we take away the batter's interference because it was a caught stealing, according to the announcement we just got here in the press box. So Gabe Lucas is at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. swallowed that for nothing. We had it right the first time.
Yeah.
1-2 to Lucas. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth inning, the Owls will have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up, down by at least 3. Routine grounder to short. Janos, one of the best defensive shortstops in the country, makes the play, and there are 2 outs.
Boy, he looks smooth out there too. You know, Coach Graham really likes him. Just real smooth, effortless movements at shortstop.
You know, Wayne Graham describes him as different as far as his build goes for a shortstop. Kind of lanky.
Yeah, kind of tall and lanky, but you know, shortstops, you know, A-Rod and Derek Jeter, and
I guess Cal Ripken changed that a little bit.
Yes, he did. They're no longer the short, skinny guys who can move around anymore. They provide a lot of offense for a lot of ball clubs in the major leagues now.
Man, it's horrible.
Musselwhite, the shortstop for the Cougars, inspirational leader for this Houston team. No balls and 2 strikes. He'll be matched up against a good friend, a high school teammate, Jeff Neiman, tomorrow afternoon. Great pitching matchup tomorrow. Neiman against Sullivan. Went fishing for that one, and Hurst gets the strikeout to end the top half of the 9th inning. We're headed to the bottom of the 9th inning. Chris Colkhorst, the inspirational leader for the Owls, will hit 3rd when we come back. Rice needs 3 to tie. Houston leads Rice. It was a huge 6th inning for the Houston Cougars. A 4-run inning. A Cole Bruce 3-run homer is the difference in this game. The Rice Owls on their home field here at Reckling Park have one more chance. Sam Mitchell, defensive replacement for the Cougars, is now playing in right field. Changes for the Cougars. They get their best defensive lineup they can on the field here behind their closer Ryan Wagner into his 2nd inning of work, facing Dane Bubella.
Now, this is a tall task right here, having to score 2 or 3 runs off one of the better closers in NCAA baseball. But you know, these guys got to figure out how to get a couple people on base and get 3 runs across right here.
Wagner came on in the 8th inning with a man on and nobody out. He got the 3 outs, 2 on strikeouts, which is par for the course for him. He averages nearly 17 strikeouts every 9 innings pitched. And he's now got 3 out of 4. The throw down.
Boy, the bottom fell out of that pitch right there. Got great movement.
Ryan Wagner and the Houston Cougars 2 outs away from moving a step closer to Omaha. Bill Jones, along with Pete Incaviglia, as Ryan Wagner has struck out 3 of the 4 Rice hitters he has faced. This is Justin Ruchte at the plate, the number 9 hitter in the order. Ruchte, perhaps the future Seattle Mariner, picked in the 9th round. That one gets away from Wagner.
So you want to be a catcher when you grow up, huh?
Awful tough with Wagner on the mound.
Well, his ball moves all over the place.
One ball, 1 strike to Ruchte. Ball and 2 strikes. Wagner has a nasty slider. Throws his fastball in the 90s. And has the numbers to prove it. If he closes this season with the same strikeout to innings pitch ratio, it will be an NCAA record. And Ruchte is a strikeout victim. He looks well on his way to that NCAA record. He has struck out 4 of the 5 hitters he has faced tonight.
Well, watch the bottom fall out of this thing. You know, I mean, that's just not fair. That's not fair as a hitter when you throw 90 plus and you got one of those in your arsenal.
So 2 away in the 9th. Houston fans who haven't had to travel far, just a few miles down the road, in the opponent's backyard here at Rice. They are on their feet, and there is strike one to Chris Kolkhorst. For the Cincinnati Reds, people think that Ryan Wagner is on a fast track to the major leagues. They leave open the possibility he could be pitching in the big leagues in September this year.
Wow, well, you know what? Pitching is a commodity, and there's not a whole lot of it. If you can find it and you can be good at it, you're going to move quickly. If you're a good pitcher, you're going to move quickly. It's not like any other position in baseball.
Wagner a strike away. Sullivan at first base. Fields makes the play. And the Houston Cougars have taken game one. Ryan Wagner with his 15th save of the season for the Cougars. 3 up, 3 down to go the Rice Owls in the 9th inning. Rainer Noble's strategy works to perfection. Danny Zell, the starter and winner, goes 7+ innings, gave up 7 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of them earned. He walked 3 and struck out 3, and then put it in the hands of his closer, Ryan Wagner. 2 hitless innings of relief. He struck out 4 of the 6 batters he faced. And now Ryan Wagner can hand the ball off to Brad Sullivan, the ace of the staff for Houston tomorrow afternoon, while Wayne Graham will counter with Jeff Neiman, who is unbeaten, 15-0 on the season. It should be a terrific pitching matchup tomorrow, and the pressure will be on not Brad Sullivan, but on Jeff Neiman and the Rice Owls, Pete.
Well, there's no question. Houston's sitting pretty with having Sullivan fully rested, and Wagner only pitched an inning and 2/3, and Neiman's going to have to come up big tomorrow and come out and pitch a whale of a ball game, and Rice is going to have to pick it up on the offensive side. So, there's a lot of pressure on Rice right now going into tomorrow's game.
When we talk about momentum, and Houston definitely has the momentum right now. That's the 5th straight win for the Cougars. You look back 1 week ago, they lost the first game of the regional in College Station, came back and won 4 in a row, including 2 straight wins against Texas A&M on the Aggies' home field there in College Station, winning 7-6 in both ends of a doubleheader. And now they come to Houston and play Rice on its home field and win over the 2nd-ranked team in the country.
They're just a scrappy ball club, They bunt the ball, they move runners, they get a couple people on, they get a key home run, it's a scrappy ball club, and they compete. And I think, that's what Noble, I think, brings to the table. Is he likes kids who come to compete, and these guys come out and compete. Even though, I think everybody knows that Rice might have the more talented team and the better athletic team. But, not always the best team wins.
Rainer Noble says he likes the role of Cinderella, and the glass slipper fits on this night. We'll see if it will again the rest of the weekend. Ryan Wagner closes it. We'll hear from one of the winning Cougars when we come back in just a moment. The Houston Cougars come into Rice's backyard and win at Reckling Park 5-2, a 10-hit attack for the Cougars. They've now won 5 straight games. Bill Jones along with Pete Incaviglia, and we are joined by one of those winning Cougars. In fact, the winning pitcher tonight, Danny Zell. Great game. Danny's got to feel good to get game 1 of this best-of-3 series.
Oh, yeah, it's an honor just to be out there and be playing, and it was a great win. I mean, we needed that. Now we have Brad going tomorrow. I like our chances tomorrow to win the whole thing, so I'm pretty excited about it.
At least as far as the media is concerned, Rainer Noble waited until yesterday to tell the media that you would be starting in game 1 of this series. Throughout the season, Brad Sullivan has been the Friday starter for Houston. You seem to like pitching game 1 of a series, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that I set the tone. I did a good job setting the tone for the team, and I'm used to going on the Saturday, usually the second game of the series, but hey, I mean, I did my job today, and Brad's going to take care of his stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, you pitched a fantastic game. I noticed you used your 2-seamer away, and you tried to come in and keep him off the plate. And, your changeup was working pretty good. What was the plan going in against pitching against this team?
Well, I've faced these guys basically my whole life. I've known these guys, and I knew they know I throw a lot of off-speed whenever the count's behind and stuff. So I just basically went in there, throwing my fastball where I need to, spotting up, and everything was working for me today.
You know, some people may think that it might give an advantage to the hitters if they faced you as much as they have. But you, until the 6th inning, you had 15 shutout innings in your career against Rice. It seems like you like that mental game and try to outsmart the hitters.
Yeah, that's basically my philosophy throughout my my career, is just to be outsmart the hitters and work my two-seamer way and get a lot of ground balls. And I seem to go out there and do that. And it was just an exciting time out there. I was enjoying it.
You know what I like? I like the way you wear your hat.
yeah, it's a little something different, you know. I mean, trying to mix it up, and I'm left-handed, you know. That's how it is.
Beautiful.
What about the way this team feels right now? I mean, you are 1 win away from Omaha.
Oh, I mean, we're just so excited. I mean, we barely got into the tournament to begin with, and now we have a chance to go to Omaha. I mean, the guys are pumped, and I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, I hopefully get a chance to pitch in Omaha. That's the whole thing.
All right, Danny Zell, we appreciate it. You did your talking on the field tonight. So did the rest of the Cougars. 5-2 over Rice.
Think. Read. React. Struggle.
Succeed. Grow.
Every time you step on the floor, class is in session.
There are 360,000 NCAA student athletes.
And each one of us is getting 2 educations.
I swim the 200. I study sociology. I grind out laps. I cram for tests. I race nationals. I take finals. And when I finish, I'll be ready to start. There are 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and we're all training to perform in whatever we go on to do.
5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for Houston. 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for Rice. The Cougars win on Rice's home field here. As we look back, 2nd inning, the Cougars got on the board first. It was a wild pitch that Cole Bruce scores from third base on. 1-0 until the 6th inning, and that's when the Cougars break through for 4 runs. Hung Cho with an RBI single, and then the big blow here. Cole Bruce, a 3-run shot, his 3rd homer of the postseason, and the Cougars were on their way. They had a 5-0 lead at that point. Rice mounts a rally in the bottom of the 6th inning, however, as Enrique Cruz had an RBI single, took advantage of an error in the field. In the 8th inning, it's Ryan Wagner on for the Cougars. He got 2 strikeouts in the 8th inning. He added 2 more strikeouts in the 9th inning, and he gets his 15th save of the season in support of starting pitcher Danny Zell. Houston wins 5-2. The Cougars win by 3, and joining us live now is Cole Bruce, responsible for that 3-run verdict. It was a 3-run homer by Cole Bruce. Congratulations, Cole.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, what'd you think on that at bat in the 6th inning? The first pitch, you were showing bunt. You decided to swing away, and it worked for you.
Right. Coach Noble called me over there, and we had planned to do a sack bunt and move the runners over in scoring position. So I squared around and showed bunt, brought the infield in. Pitcher turned around to act like he's going to throw it at second, and sure enough, Coach gave me the green light.
Let me ask you a question. You know, you've been swinging the bat real well the last 2 regionals. What do you attribute that to?
Just hard work, you know. I mean, I've been taking a whole lot of cuts in the BP and just, you know, working on what I need to do, taking the outside pitch away and pulling the inside pitch, sucking my hands in.
Sets up well tomorrow. Brad Sullivan on the mound, but then Rice has Jeff Neiman on the mound.
Right, it's going to be a good game. I mean, 2 top pitchers going head-to-head, and we just need to do what we did tonight, and we pull through as a team. We can't do it. I mean, we can do anything we want.
You feel like that this team has the momentum now? It's coming together at the right time for you, isn't it?
Oh, yes, sir, very much.
You guys are feeling like the Cinderella story, aren't you? You guys just keep winning. That's a great thing, isn't it?
Oh, it's great. You know, we're surprising a lot of people, and it's, I mean, it's a dream.
Well, one more win, and you are headed to Omaha. Cole Bruce, we appreciate it. Great game tonight, and Rice will try to answer the challenge tomorrow afternoon here. Again, Pete, it's a great pitching matchup with Jeff Neiman, 15-0 on the mound for Rice, Brad Sullivan for Houston. Once again, the final score of Game 1 of our NCAA Super Regional here at Reckling Park. Houston 5 and Rice 2. Join us tomorrow on ESPN2 at 2 o'clock as we continue along the road to Omaha. Game 2 between the Cougars and the Owls. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. I'm Bill Jones for Pete Incaviglia saying so long from Houston. This has been a presentation of ESPN Syndicated Television.